And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we have returned. We have returned here with our second series of the night of LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs Day number 1. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss for Team Liquid, it is Skillous. Here we go. So again, I do apologize for the stream going down, but I did have to switch servers when it came to Twitch. I had to change Twitch servers, and hopefully everything is a little bit more stable. I don't know if you noticed, but we did have some drop frames and some connection issues previously, so I do apologize for that, but it should be smooth sailings from here on forward, and hopefully we get everyone back. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Until then, we are settling in. We do have our TVP ahead of us. Again, we're still quite early in the day. We just wrapped up with our first series, and we have 3 more matches ahead of us. 3 more best of 5s to come to confirm who makes it through. Now, this is going to be another elimination match. Dark has been eliminated from the tournament. Dark, he just went down to Raynor, and now we are here to determine who will join, or who will also be knocked out and join Dark out of the event, and who will advance on to face off against Raynor in the next round. For now, Economic Opener. Racks expand out of herO, Economic start. Meanwhile, Skillous going for a gate, Cyber into expand. Here we go. So, standard opener here by Skillous, Economic Opener by herO. It's going to be opening up economically. And again, hopefully we can find everyone once again. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So do settle in. Again, herO, he has actually been struggling quite a bit here in this matchup. We went over the Pawncast previously, and we did take note of herO falling to Trigger. He went down to Classic as of late as well. I want to say that Skillous is definitely comparable in skill to the players that I just mentioned, so I want to say that Skillous has a decent chance here to make it through. And also, before I forget, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As you have a couple of minutes as we speak to place those bets and to get your predictions underway. Well, now we have our take-up choice. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of Skillous. Opening up Twilight Council. Into Blink. And across the map, we do see herO just getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. No 3 racks or 2-1-1 or anything too crazy like that. None of the sorts. Not here. Not this time. This time. As the Adept does threaten the shade. Shades are threatened. herO pulling back. Adept do make it in. Yeah, through shade into the main base. Marines are going to be going down. He gets 1. He's going to get 2. Pretty big losses here. 2 Marines go down. They can threaten the mineral line, but lastly, the Reaper should be able to clean this up. The Reaper falls as well. Uh-oh. Reaper does fall. Workers, they're under threat. Adepts are low, but they can still wreak havoc. Oh my god. Jesus, as the Adept finally goes down. One of them falls. The other should as well. Whew. herO, he survives, but there's some brutal losses here. And again, a little less mine time in the main base for herO. A nice start for Skillous. Very nice start. He does rally in. Skillous is just going to be reinforcing here into the center of the map, trying to catch any kind of counterattack. Likewise, herO fast 3rd CC. Wait, hold on. Going for a 3cc 2-1-1. Very unique build. This is rarely seen in TVP. I'm a little bit in shock and a little bit in awe, not gonna lie. Oof. As a nice trade for herO, catching out 2 of those Stalkers, going for the final Stalker as well. The lock-ons are brutal. As Skillous, he will lose this. Oof. We'll bleed out all 3 Stalkers. Command Center is on the way. And herO is looking to secure himself. Meanwhile, Skillous, he's in the dark, getting his own 3rd base. Remember, 3-gate blink. Safe opener here by Skillous. Does allow him to be somewhat active and somewhat aggressive. As he perks in, gets an SCV, and he should be able to get eyes on the main, and he should be able to realize just how greedy herO has been. Again, like a 360-2-1-1 is crazy. But he's done it. Even into double eBays. Now Skills knows it's too late to delay. Going for the tank. Tank is going to be under fire. Hop pickup saves the Stalker. Ooh, Stalker goes down. And the tank survives. No, sure, the tank barely does live. Skills going to be forced back. Another tank shot going off as well. Gumio holds, and Gumio is getting away with such an insanely fast third base. He's getting away with it. And Skills, he's trying to punish. Emphasis on trying. He wants a tank. Baits out the shot. Ooh, we lose the Stalker. Trading 1-for-1. Better trade for Skillis. Hits the mineral line. At least it's trying to. But Sim is done. And another Stalker goes down. Skillis in a lot of trouble here. He has to pull away. Does have to pull away. Skillis is going to rotate, diving into the main, catching up an SCV. Oof. Catching out a worker so far. Nice control. Skillis, she does save all of his Stalkers. Oh my god, the trades! I mean, the army's very low. The boys are being pulled. But the warp in will complete. Charge is now done. GG gets caught. Skillis, he barely does punish Gumiho. And Skillis takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Skillis with the punish. And with that, Skillis starts things off with a win here. Again, Gumiho was cutting so many corners, being so greedy. But he pulls it off. Does pull it off. And we'll see if he can bring it back. Okay, we'll see if he can bounce back. I mean, it's a best of 5. It's going to be a best of 5 here. Plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Don't you worry. And I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series. The pressure is on. Pressure is on as our next game is going to be in Frostline. Another one of these larger maps in the map pool. Larger map. More of an exposed map is what I will say. It is more exposed. And here we go. We're jumping in. Going to be jumping in. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back, and we'll see what kind of crazy builds he has in store for us this time. It is Gumiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Skillis. Again, Gumiho just being crazy, going for an insanely greedy build in that last game, and Skillis, he barely was able to punish. And now we find ourselves in game number 2. Let's go. Let's find ourselves here in the second game. And Skillis does move out with a bit of a scout. Checks the third base, moves out across the map. We'll see if he does set anything up here. Out on Frostline. We'll see what he can accomplish. Gumiho, meanwhile, going for his own racks. Single gas. Once again, economic opener. We saw last game a rack expand out of Gumiho. We should be seeing it here once again. As Skillis, he does avoid the main scouting path. Has arrived and will confirm. Skillis, he does confirm what's going on. Keeping eyes on Gumiho. Does keep eyes on him. Meanwhile, CC on the high ground, Gumiho playing it safe. Plays it carefully. Does play it safe. Behind this, Skillus likewise just setting into his tech of choice. I wouldn't blame something like a Stargate opener, but we spoke about how difficult it is to actually maintain your third and fourth base on Frostline, so leaning more towards a Twilight Council here out of Skillus. We'll keep an eye on him. As a reminder, last game we did see a 3-gate blink build by Skillus. Did see 3-gate blink. Could do it again. There it is, a Twilight Council has been placed. Oh, the probe got stuck. Ah, no. The probe did get trapped to force the recall. Force to spend energy. Aye. So less than ideal here for Skillus, but, you know, regardless, we have our tech of choice. Hopefully that area doesn't become an issue later when it comes to, I don't know, some drop play or some kind of harass. I'm sure it won't. It'll be fine. Copium. As we're keeping an eye on our gateways here from the side of Skillus, this time Gumiho does throw down a Stargate, or Starport. Starport has been placed, getting into his second and soon-to-be third racks as well. So this time a much more standard follow-up here out of Gumiho. As a reminder, last game, Gumiho, he skipped his Starport in favor of a third TC. This time is going to be embracing it, going into drop play. Oh, I would imagine drop play. Never mind, it's going to be a Liberator first here out of Gumiho. Let's go. Tech lab is done. Checking the vision. Gumiho, he has not confirmed the tech. He's unaware as to what's going on. Could be Stargates, could be Twilight Council, could be Robo. Gumiho going to be opening up going to be opening up Tech Lab into Cyclone with Liberas as well. With that Liberator. There's that third Vax. Again, 3-1-1. And Gumiho this time is going for a delayed stim. When I say delayed stim, he just rushed into stim last game. It was just a crazy build. It's just crazy. This time we're settling in. Gateways are finishing up. Again, 2 gateways in the main for Skillus. Third gateway here at the natural. 3-gate blink into that War Prism. And the goal here for Skillus is to move out to contain the Terran and to potentially wreak a little bit of havoc in the bases. If he moves out too soon, though, he's going to be vulnerable to the aggression of Gumiho. You have a live towards the natural, and the Cyclone is revealed. Skillus, he has blink. Blink is done. Third base on the way. Gumiho, he rotates. Skillus looking for the Cyclones. He will miss it. Does miss the Cyclones. Liberator in between the bases. Skillus, he's aware. And as Skillus moves out, Gumiho is getting ready to move in. Does did it into the bases. Going for the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Oh, the boys are being pulled. And they are lining up. Yeah, 5 probe kills. Very nice damage. At the same time, Skillus, he runs into a tank. Yeah, he's going to be forced back. Blink was just spent, which means these Stalkers are exposed. 1 Stalker goes down. He gets a second Stalker as well. Brutal losses for Skillus. And Gumiho takes a lead. He gets 7. He gets 8 probe kills. This has still not been dealt with. Ay. Still not cleaned up. Stalkers, they try to respond. 10 probe kills. That is brutal. And the pressure is on Skillus. He needs to get some kind of counter damage here. Rotating into the main. Rotating into the main. Getting Marine. Oh, going for the medevac. Doesn't quite get it. Nice control here by Skillus, but a Stalker goes down. Does get a Stalker. Skillus getting forced back. Gonna be reinforcing. Skillus, he's looking for more, hoping to find a straight tank, a couple of SCVs. Alas, he's being deflected. Skillus going for the dive, but there's a second tank behind this. He gets 1. Does at least get 1. Skillus pulls away. And again, Gumiho, he has a better economy. Has a terrifying army. The lock-on on the War Prism is brutal as well. It's going to go down. There's no saving it. No saving the War Prism. Skillous, he's hurting. He's in a lot of trouble here. Doesn't get the tank. Pulls away. Takes a shot to the face. Skillous trying to establish that third base, but here comes Gumiho. He's moving out. Now, bearing in mind, he keeps tanks at home. The tanks are kept back at home, only moving out with the drop play with the Marines. Gumiho being active. Did I say he's leaving the tanks back at home? Never mind. Does on siege. He sends everything across the map, but behind this he's not going for an all-in. He's going for a third TC. It's halfway done, but Gumiho is committed nonetheless. Is committed. Skillous trying to set up back at home. Nice force fields. Looking down the Marines. I'll pick up behind Gumiho. Saves what he can. Maintains the tanks. Does maintain his tanks. Skillous dropping into the main. Going for his own counterattack. Does force Gumiho to respond. He does notice in time. And so far he controls well. Pulling back to the mineral line. Everything turns back around. Gumiho racing back home. And we'll see what skills can get done. Trading somewhat well against some of these Marines. Skills being active. He does spot the CC. There's a tank on the high ground. Skillous is hoping to at least delay the expansion. Potentially dive on this army. It's going to be difficult though. There are still 2 tanks behind. This has a lot of zealots though. Charge will say flood in. They go for the mineral line. Marine's going to be going down, forcing friendly fire. Nice force field. Oof. Yeah, very nice force field. Clutch save here by Gumiho. Saves most of the bio. Most of the marauders, but what about the SCVs? The SCVs are left for their own devices. 18 SCVs going down, forcing the on siege. And Skillous gets away. Skillous, he takes down the mineral line. Trades with the bio. And mainly loses zealots. That's what's important here. Much more efficient trade by Skillous, just throwing zealots away. Likewise, once again, threatens to dive. Escapes to the War Prism. And building up Colossus. Colossus are on the way for Skillous. He does trigger a counterattack. Gumiho does have the larger main army. And can Skillous survive? He did well for himself trading out those zealots, but without those zealots, I mean, his main army, it's lacking. Oh, especially with his army being out on the map. Gumiho, he finds the 4th and going for the 3rd. The boys, they do rally in. That's going to be 12 probes going down. Skillous is in trouble. He's up against the wall. Does blink over. Does blink in. But Gumiho might just have too much here. Yeah, he's looking to overwhelm. The base is getting low. Skillous tries to engage at the same time. Zealots, they hit across the map. They delay reinforcements. They delay the production. But there's just so much bio here. The Zealous melts. Skillous, he abandons the base. He knows he cannot save it. And that means that the 3rd base falls, the 4th as well. Gumiho, he will knock down both bases. Back at home, only 10 SCVs. Gumiho does take a worker lead, or I should say economic lead. Bearing in mind he has mules. And Skillous, he cannot engage. Not like this. Gumiho, he dives on the army, takes out a Colossus. Colossus goes down, Stalkers as well, and there's almost nothing left. GG gets called. Gumiho ties up the series. We have a back and forth. GG. We have a back and forth. We have our matchup. Let's go. Here we go. GG, well played. Gumiho does tie things up 1-1. And now we have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth. Let's go. Getting ready for Game 3. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. I'm hoping for, a full series here. At least I'm hoping for that. We'll see if that's the case. So we're getting into game 3. As a reminder, the night is still young. Plenty more games ahead of us. Oh. As this is only the second series of the night. Cool t-shirts. I mean, you can't... I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like blending into the background. Oh no. This is actually green. You can't really tell, but it's actually a shade of green, I should say. Because I have a green screen, I'm like fading away a little bit. I'm getting dusted. Oh no. But here we go. Get into game number 3. Stay with us. I know. I'm not feeling too good. No. Not like this. If I leave, it's gonna be after the series, after the cast. I promise you that, as we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, fighting back and tying up the series. It is Gumiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, being forced into a tied series. It is Skillous. Here we go. Again, it has been an intense back and forth. Game 1, Gumiho was crazy, went for a wild build and was punished for it. Game number 2, we saw a much more standard setup instead, a much more chaotic game state as a result, where Skills was attempting to find some damage, was struggling to do so. Gumiho popping off with his own counterattack and putting Skills in a rough position. A lot of it did come down to the early harassment. If you remember, Gumiho, he killed 10 probes. He killed 10 probes with his Hellion Liberator harass. He pulled Skills apart. If you remember, Skills, he was out of position, he was across the map, and Skills was punished for it. So some really rough early games for both players. Game 1, it was a rough start for Gumiho. Game 2, rough start for Skillous. Game 3, who is going to be the player to gain momentum in this third game? Because whoever does, I mean, they typically maintain that momentum as well. Typically do maintain it. As for now, we do have Skillous setting up back at home. Just going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Slightly more greedy opener this time out of Skillous. Remember previously, I mean, that standard setup is gate into Cybercore into Nexus. This Nexus is slightly faster, just cutting corners, and it makes sense on a larger map like King's Cove, on a defendable map as well. Welcome one and all, of course, to the third largest map in the map pool, King's Cove. A very defendable 3-base setup, I should say, and as we mentioned previously in Dark versus Raynor, the fourth base is much more vulnerable, much more exposed, much more difficult to defend. We go. Much more difficult. And we'll see if that's going to be kind of a pivotal location here for our players. For either one, really. For either fourth. As Gumiho is setting up on the high ground. Just racks expand into factory. CC now being there in the location. Oh god, the greed continues. He's crazy. Oh my god. That is a nut once again. Third CC before Starport. This time before racks as well. Very greedy build here by Gumiho. Byun, is that you? Byun is also very fond of this. He's very fond of this kind of style. And he would do so all the time on Side Delta in the previous map pool. I mean, I know that the map is large and is defendable. True. If you want to go for a greedy build, this is a map for it. We'll see if Skillous will recognize, as Skillous opens up Stargate into Phoenix. Not really the best start here when it comes to trying to punish a player being greedy. Phoenixes, what can they do? They can harass mineral lines, true. They can harass, they can shut down drop play, they can maintain map control, but they can't really do any major critical damage here, especially not this early on. We'll see what skills can get done. We'll see if Gumiho gets away with this, as the CC is almost complete at this point. Once again, following it up with that second Rex. It's looking very similar to what we saw in game 1. Skillity pokes in, now he knows. Skillity is aware. CC does complete. And how does Skillus respond? Does he meet greed with greed and go into a third base and try to be very tech heavy and go like double forge into Robo into Bay? What is the plan? Skillus, he's hunting down the Hellions. He's being active with the Adepts. Again, there's a lot of pressure on Skillus, and he will expand. He is going to expand. Skillus moves out. Likewise, the Bay is on the way. He's going to be on the way. Working towards Colossus. We get some okay pickoffs here, but whole damage is dealt. Cyclone pops off. Skillus pulling away. And again, Skillus has to get as much damage as possible here. Whether it's Marines, SCVs, whatever he can. Slow down Gumiho. Otherwise, Gumiho is going to snowball out of control in the mid game. Which is a faster third, better saturation, faster triple SV production. Skillus is setting up. Doesn't quite commit. Quiet, still rotating. Skillus, you will get a couple of SCVs. Delay some of the production, thankfully. Back at home, building up Colossus, getting into upgrades. +1 is on the way. Charge as well. I mean, this is still just a really standard setup. I do appreciate this. The fourth Nexus is on the way for Skillus, and he needs his fourth base as quickly as possible. Just because of the greed of Gumiho. So I guess that is Skillus' response here. He recognizes he cannot deal any damage, any meaningful damage. He's just getting a couple of Marines here and there. So he has to try to outgreed his opponent, or at least try to maintain himself, and try to keep up. Whether or not he can, yet to be determined. Now, the real benefit here of this faster third base that's now being taken is in the mid game. Once his base gets saturated, you will see very quickly Gumiho skyrocket ahead in supply. You don't really see it yet because Gumiho, he's still not able to make full use of that faster third, but soon he will. And when he does, it is going to be apparent. So it takes a while for it to really be showcased here in the game itself, for it to start paying off. Skillus is forced back. There comes that 3-base saturation. Skillus getting his fourth. Building up. Interesting. Skillus going for a Templar Archives instead of a second Robo, so he's not going into Disruptors, he's going into Storm instead. I'm assuming. Assuming Templar Archives into Storm. Templar on the way. Building up. Skillus, he moves out with his main army. Gumiho likewise building up as well. The move out is spotted by the Observer. Skillus, he knows. Scan reveals the third base saturation. Skillus double expanding, getting a fourth and a fifth base. His double expanding. But Gumiho does have the larger army. Gumiho does have the larger army. 4 CC on location. Zealous moving out for a run by. Main armies are about to clash. Skillus pulling away. Zealous catch reinforcements. Not bad. 2 Marines, a Marauder into the mineral line. Gumiho, he turns back around. He's going to go with his man's down as he's going down. Massive damage. Gumiho completely out of position. Zealous play bust into the natural. Main army gets spotted. Skillus, he's moving in. saw Gumiho race back. The tanks are exposed. He wants them. And he's going to get them as well. Both tanks get lifted. Army's trying to keep up, but at least one tank goes down. Well, where are the Zealots? Where's the support? Support still coming in. Tank voice going off. Massive tank shots of the Colossus. But Skills, he has done it. He breaks through. He does punish Gumiho. That's a kill that cancels the CC. Tank count gets reset. Gumiho being forced back. And Skills has a massive advantage here. Whew. Oh my god. Again, that Zealot run by the MVPs, papi. It didn't just deal economic damage, it caught reinforcements and it forced Gumiho all the way back home. It exposed his own tanks. And now Gumiho is up against the wall. Gumiho, he's in trouble now. Skills diving in. And Gumiho, what can he do? Force fields, they lock down a portion of the army. Archon's in a rough position. But Zal's they do more than enough. GG gets called and Skillers takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. I should also reiterate, I did say that the Zealot run-bys were the MVPs. In a way, yes, but also the Observer, right? The Observer allowed Skillers to know when the army moved out, allowed Skillers to see the army movement, the army rotation, and when Gumiho was vulnerable at his most, or at his most vulnerable, did tell him, of course, to go for the run-by at the time. And with that, Skillers did pop off. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, and now we do embrace game number 4. We'll see how this story ends. We'll see if we get an ace match or if Skills will take the 3-1. The pressure is on. What does this mean? Gah, papi, gah. It's a Latin American meme. It's a Latin American meme. Don't worry, don't worry. It's fine, it's fine. Think of it like a war cry, papi. It's fine. we do have a lot of we do actually have a lot of leftover Latin American memes in our chat. Like like this. Is this still working? Yeah. We have some old school Latin American memes. It's been a while. It's been a while since they've been relevant, I should say. We used to be like the main casters for Latin American StarCraft events. Nowadays less so. Like I'm talking about back in like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 sort of era of StarCraft. Yeah, not as current as to what the channel is now, what I will say. But you know, it's still there. It's still there. I miss it. But now we're settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Gumiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1. Automas, one more game is all he needs to advance on to the next round. It is Skillers. Yo, Smile knows, papi. He knows, papi. Este Smile. Buenos días, papi. Este Smile. Gah. Beautiful. For now, though, welcome one and all to Neon Violet Square. Welcome to the largest map of the map pool, the map known for greed, the map known for cutting corners. If Gumiho were to once again go for a faster third CC, this would be a much safer map to do it on. We saw him punished in the end on King's Cove, but if he were to do it here on Neon Violet Square, he can get away with it. Likewise, so can Skillers when it comes to being more greedy. Gate expand here out of Skillers, so speaking of, more economic opener here by Skillers, slightly more greedy. We saw this same opener here on King's Cove. Did see the same opener. Now though, we are settling in. Likewise, a factory is on the way. Just racks expand into factory here. Economic start out of Gumiho. It's what we've been seeing from him so far quite prevalently in this series. Gumiho checking the pocket base just in case, just to be sure. I should also emphasize, the map isn't just large, long rush distance by ground, many bases to be taken, very defendable base setup as well, with your pocket base, with your third, with your fourth, with your fifth. The gold as well is also a viable option once we get into a longer game state. If you do have map control, can be a factor. But we'll get there. We will get there. As Gumiho's moving out for a scout, and he's going for a 1-1-1. No fast third CC. Not this time. Here we go. Gumiho does a poke in. Likewise, Stargate opener once again from Skillous, 2 games in a row, going for the Stargate. And again, on larger maps, it is safe to do so. I would not condone like Stargate play on Whispers of Gold or Ley Lines or Ultra Love, but on larger maps like King's Cove and Abyssal, as well as Neon Violet Square, go for it. Embrace it, baby, embrace it. This time opening up not Phoenix, opening up Oracle. Interesting. So Skillous going for a more aggressive start, opening up Oracle. With this, can either commit into Phoenixes or deviate and go into something like +1 in charge, +1 in blink, into a gateway composition. We'll see. Light Shred is partially cloaking. It is. As Gumiho does drop into the main. Does go for the marine drop. Does throw in the mineral line. So far, 1, 2 probes going to be going down. 2 probes do fall. Getting third and a fourth. Not bad for a handful of marines. Very nice drop here for Gumiho. At the same time, Skillous rushing into a fleet. Oh my, I didn't even notice. My apologies. I was otherwise distracted. Skillous rushing into a fleet beacon. He's crazy. We're going for a Tempest rush in TVP. He's lost his mind. Getting 4 CVs, not bad. 4 workers going down. He gets a full scout of the 1-1-1. He gets a full scout of the Cloak Banshee. Gumiho going for the 3rd CC on location. Very greedy build here by Gumiho. He's going to be harassing. Yes, that is true, but he's going to be very economic behind this. Focusing on his greed, focusing on his bases. As a result, Skillous, he should be safe to do this. And checking Gumiho's vision. He has seen it. He has scouted. He is somewhat aware. I say somewhat. He did scout the tech, but did he click on it? Did he click on the building? Did he click on the fleet beacon? That I'm less certain of. As Gumiho pulls back home. Does pull back. Going for his add-on swap. Cloak did complete. Banshees are moving out. Drops as well. And we'll see if Gumiho can break his opponent. Shall see. He's still going to commit in. Just biding his time. Poking in, not quite committing though. Not quite yet. Alas, Skillous is in position, building up. Oh, just the 1 Tempest? 2. Okay, 2 Tempests have built up. He's not getting a 3rd. Do you see Gumiho? He has responded. Vikings are amassing. +1 vehicle weapons into mech. Let's go. Thor, he is hard reacting to this. Going for Reactor Viking into Mass Thor. 2nd factory. He's committing so hard. And I would say overreacting, because Skillous, he only made 2 into Ground Toss, into Mass Blink Stalker. Gumiho, he takes the bait. He takes the bait. And Gumiho, he's in a bit of trouble here. Is in trouble. Here we go. Sorry to set things up. As Skills moves out, runs into the army again, plenty of Vikings, and the first Tempest is going to go down. Oh, this is a bit of a premature move out here from Skills. Going to be losing both Tempests. Both Tempests do fall, and now that's going to be the tell the Gumiho needs to stop making Thors. So I was hoping that maybe we could try to sell the story a little bit longer here to try to force Gumiho to make extra Thors, but only 2. And now Gumiho's moving out, and again, he's making it up. He's one of the few players to embrace mech in this matchup. One of the few. Skills moving out. Oh! Trying to keep up, diving the army, going for the Thors. He gets one. One Thor goes down. Medevac is here for a hot pickup. Medevac is going to fall as well, but oh, the trades are too good. So many Stalkers do fall, and Gumiho is nowhere out of control. He's pushing in. No shield battery. No shield battery set up. Just purely Blink Stalker. Can he dive in? He's going for it. Goes to the dive. He gets one tank. Gets the second. Gumiho is running out of steam. He's down to 1 Thor and 1 Viking. Handful of Marines. These are vanilla Marines. Remember that. They're here just for moral support. And they're going to be cleaned up. I mean, they do some damage, don't get me wrong. Stasis goes off. Cyclones have arrived. Lock-ons are being broken. And Skills holds. Skills, he barely holds on. Whew. Again, that was a clutch hold. With this going for a counterattack, hoping to catch any of these stray units. Observer will chase the main army. We can see Gumiho switching into mass battle mech. To Hellions, Cyclones, and Widowmines. We're done with the Thor tank. Going for something more mobile. 4th base, of course, on the way as well. It's going to be on the way. Skills going for the gold. Let's go. I mean, Skills, he has map control, so it makes sense. Rushing into the gold base. As that was his 4th as well. Rotating over. Ready for his own Zealot drop into the main. We'll see if he can pull Gumiho apart. Mine shot going up. Doesn't connect. Army gets spotted. Oh. This tank is set. At the same time, Spotter Vax will spot the drop. And Gumiho, he responds in time. Mine getting a position. Mine shot going up. Zealous will get a couple of SCVs, but nothing too major. And the Prism goes down to the lock-on. Gumiho holds. I know without losing 7 SCVs, though. Getting 7 SCV kills. Likewise, Banshee across the map. Finally, it has arrived, getting a handful of worker kills. More Banshees are in production, actually. Gumiho going back into Banshee. Doing well for himself. Getting 7 probes of his own. Likewise, Skillless trying to be somewhat active, trying to catch any stray units. Gumiho, he will escape with that Banshee. And again, he's making more. Oh, I spoke too soon. What about? Does escape. Whew. Barely gets away. Does get away. Skills moving out, morphing in more Archons. And Gumiho is turtling up. I was hoping we'd be avoiding this, but Gumiho is making 3 tanks at a time, so Gumiho is fully turtling up, throwing down turrets, sensor towers, planetaries, more tanks, more of just completely walling up and walling off. It's time. It's turtle time. It's time to turtle on up. Meanwhile, Skillless, upon recognizing this, sky toss into Tempest production. We did forego Tempest production earlier, but we can see Tempest now on the way once again. The reason for this is because the Viking count has been reset and there are no more Thors any longer. Now it's mainly a ground-based composition, tank, Banshee, Hellion, Cyclone, so the era of Skytos is now upon us. Earlier we were rushing into it, it was shut down, but now it is much more viable here. Now it's a lot more natural for Skillous. Is going to be a lot more natural. Likewise, embracing that gold base, so Skillous, he's able to maintain his economy. Gumiho, you could argue, is maybe has too much supply in SCVs. He's got 90 SCVs, and that does mean that Gumiho's main army is smaller. Does have a smaller main army. Banshees, they do arrive, they do distract, they keep Skillous busy. Scan's keeping on the army. Skillous, he does engage it with the Hellions. Nice lock-ons though. Tempest is revealed. Again, that is an early tell. Tempest are going to be shown. Nice lock-ons on the Archons. Banshees, they get away. And Gumiho did force a cancel. So nice done by Gumiho. You know, behind this, more starports. This should be for Mass BC. Mass BC is the ideal, if he can get there. Not an easy army to transition into. Prism goes down. Gumiho just picking Skillous apart here. And Skillous' army, again, is still not ideal. He's got Archons, Immortals, a couple of Tempest. Gumiho coming back this time. We're ready. Skillous in position. Gumiho, he rotates. He is spotted. Skillous knows. Does he recall? How does Skillous respond as he's being dragged towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map? Gumiho taking the gold. Skillous, he rotates, or at least he's trying to. Again, the map is quite large. It's quite difficult to rotate from one side to the other. Takes a long time. Gumiho catching at the Archon. Oh! Getting rid of the shields. Stalkers, they attempt to intercept. They spot the base. Oh, but the lock-ons, they're brutal. Once again, they're locking down these Stalkers. There we go. Yamato's on the way. We have yet to fully embrace Mass BC. As Gumiho, I'm sure he does want to take a fight first to free up some supply. Decent lock-ons. Ooh, the Tempest taking a lot of damage. And ideally, we want to be more Zealot heavy here. Again, how do you deal with mech? Typically with charge lots with Immortals and Archons. Just because Zealots are great units to try to close the gap and dive on the Cyclones and the tanks. Double lock-on. Tempest goes down. Massive pickup. Skillous is having a really hard time just piecing this all together. Gumiho goes for another counterattack. No detection. Or we're lacking a revelation here. Oh no, revelation misses. Oh, revelation does miss. Thankfully, there is a cannon. Cloak runs out. So there we go. We get the final Banshee. Skillous, he does handle it. Now we can focus on this push. How many Tempest? 3. Only 3 Tempest. Mainly a ground composition. Moving in, takes out the Thor. Ooh. Got a brutal disable here on the mothership. Skillous, he has to retreat. Has to respect it. Skillous, he does pull away. Getting into more Tempest production. We spoke earlier, Gumiho, he did have too many SCVs, so he's going to get rid of them. This is really helping Gumiho more than anything. Throwing away these workers, freeing up supply for more units, more army. As Gumiho, he has established that gold. On the one hand, yes, Skillus has map control, but it's going to come down to the eventual breakouts. And I do favor Gumiho's army currently. But we'll see. We're getting mini skirmishes. Nice trade here by Skillus, catching out some of the Cyclones. Ooh, cannot push into the siege line though. Again, like pushing into this is going to be so difficult. We've got planetaries, we've got CCs, we've got turrets, sensor towers, tank lines. Do appreciate this though. How do you deal with this kind of wall, this kind of setup with your own cannons and shield batteries? Have your own outposts to maintain your Tempest, to heal them up, to keep pushing. Speaking of, the wall has been spotted. But again, this outpost allows Skillus to be more efficient. As you can see, pushes in, takes some hits, pulls back, tops up his shields, keeps going. At least ideally, that's how this works. Gumiho breaking out. So I was running to the side defense. Skillus pushing forward. He wants those tanks. He's going to get them. Gumiho out of position. Racing back. 3 tanks go down. But Skillus, he can't commit. Likewise, the Thors are getting around on the left-hand side. Storm zoning away. Thors are coming in from behind. Planetary under fire. Oh, they move command in! The move command! Yeah, a bit of a misrally. Misrally here from Gumiho, throwing away 2 Thors at the same time. Base is denied on the right hand side. Very nice damage here from Skillus. Does recall, rotate over. There's still actually a lot of resources here at this base. And once again, 2 tanks are exposed. They're naked. They're on their own. The Panzer down. Gumiho just counterattacks. He's done. Just going for a counterattack. The bases are going down. He's trying to commit. Running into reinforcements. Not a bad trade here for Gumiho. Shuts down the Stalkers. Shuts down the Immortals. And Skillus, he just keeps going. He just keeps pushing in. Now, there is Mass Raven waiting for him, so he can disable. True. He can disable the army. Gumiho is racing back home. Skillus reinforcing with Stalker. Stalker against Cyclone. It's going to be a tough trade here for Skillus. We said earlier, I mean, we need those Zealots. So we need those charge lots here. Skillus, he attempts to trade. He's going to be kited. Here we go. The main army does respond. Again, that's a lot of Cyclones. Almost pure Cyclone. Ravens are coming for the mass disable. Yeah, disable every single Skytoss unit. And Skillus, he gets caught out. The Cyclone Sparky, they come in, they lock on, and they clean everything up. Yeah, this was not it. Skillus, he gets caught with his pants down. He will lose everything. The mass Cyclone, let's go. The Cyclowns have returned. And Skillus cannot rebuild. He cannot rebuild fast enough. Skillus has a bank, but it takes a long time to rebuild that kind of army. And it looks like we might just have an ace match. Gumiho, he has done it. He's pushing through. Getting into the mineral line. Brutal missile here on the main army. Getting into the production. And he will depower everything. Gumiho, he has done it. Oh, we do have Mass Stalker coming in from behind. The Ravens! Ravens getting caught out. Not bad. The Ravens are caught. Skillus trying to force us back. He's saving his bases. And there we go. He's warping in 7 Stalkers at a time. He surrounds the army. Whew. He defends. He holds. The Panic Stalker reinforcements does hold on. Things are looking dire. And the game continues. The game does continue. Skillus, he saves his production. He has to repower it, of course. But he does save it. But here comes the final form of Gumiho. Now that he's freed up supply, you know what it's time for? BC. It's time for the BCs. But BCs do take a long time to build up. And Skillus, he's coming in. Ooh, takes a lot of tank shots to the face. A lot of tank shots. Once again, the lock-ons are brutal. Skillus, he has to get the hell out of here. Bleeding out a lot of gas-based units as well. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Bleeding out those Oracles as well. Mass DT counterattack. Hits a CC. Force to recall. Force to recall. Catching out stray tanks. Tanks going down. Liberators as well. Not bad. Going for the planetary. One more volley. does get it. Planetary goes out, but here come the Cyclones. And Cyclones, they should be able to clean this up. I say that. We have the slow zone. Mothership comes in for support. Nice target firing here out of Skillous. Does target down the Cyclones, but it still will lose this fight. And a head-on fight here. herO will force back the army. Will chase him down. More Stalkers coming in to reinforce. More Stalkers do come in. DT counterattack, taking down 2 bases. No repairs. No repairs. CCs, they're burning down. Skillous, he's pulling herO apart. herO, he responds, he rotates with everything, mainly a Hellion army. herO is out of gas. herO, he cannot afford Cyclones. He's making 5 Hellions at a time in 1 Cyclone. He's broke, but he has BCs. True, he has battle cruisers. He's got 5 BCs so far. They're banking up, and this is going to be the checkmate move. At least for herO, this is how he's hoping to end the game. And here they come. Here come the BCs. Meanwhile, Planetary is going to go down. herO trading a base for a base, going for the production. Does go for the production. Back at home, we have a wall of tanks, wall of Thors. Skillous should not be able to gain any ground. It's going to be cleaned up. Skillous, he needs to pull away. Oh no! The DTs! They dive in, they get one, not worth it. They get 1 tank. What was that, like 7 to 8 DTs? 11 even. 11 Dark Templar go down. Skillous, now he turns back around. DC's wreaking havoc. They focus down more gateways. They depower the production. There's the recall. You can see Skillous hoping to try to surround this army. Coming in from both angles. One of these flanks is weaker though. One is not quite like the other. Yeah, all these recall Stalkers are going to get picked up. Skillous has got to get out of there. Like, this is a brittle position because if Skillous tries to engage here with his ground army, like the BCs, they can just walk away. They can just float away. And there is no Sky Toss. Warping in another 12 Stalkers at a time. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Oh, nice dodge. Meanwhile, herO is on a 2-base setup, really a 1-base economy. Stuck on a 1-base economy. Skillous is maxed out. He does need some Sky Toss to deal with this. Tempest, they're an answer. True. I mean, they're the answer. One side support. BCs that teleport away. They escape. herO did lose 1 battle cruiser, as I believe there were 5. Yeah, there were 5. So 1 BC goes down, building up more tanks. Now Skillous still has a better economy. He has all these bases. He has better mining. That is Skillous' advantage here. He has the economy. The BCs did do a lot of damage to the production, but not to the bases, not to the mining bases of Skillous. That's what's important here. He has mining. He has more bases on the way. Skillous, he can afford these trades, at least somewhat. herO cannot. herO, he can't max. He cannot max out. Now, the army supplies are comparable. But if herO doesn't expand, then Skillous should just be able to outscale it. Should be. They go diving on the CCs, gets an orbital, gets 1, and gets 2. You can see Skillous, he just focuses on the economy. Again, that is his win condition. Just starve herO out. Doesn't have to try to push into the siege line. If he did, Skillous could lose. So it's all about just nibbling away at the bases, at the economy. And so far, it's working well. herO going for a counterattack. The Tempest count is building back up. See in the chat, we're going to the finals today? No. This is a 5-day event. This is day 2 of 5. So there's 3 more days ahead of us. 3 more days of LiuLi Cup. 3 more days of the playoffs. Would you say herO isn't too successful because he too often uses mech. I would not say that because he wins with mech. Like, we've seen him defeat the best Protoss players in the world with mech. So, I mean, there's a reason why he does it. Because he's the only player that can make it work. Not saying it works 100% of the time, but neither does Bio, for example. As Skillets goes for a big counterattack, he avoids the main army. Does avoid it. Oof, has to respect the tanks, though. Oof, as Skillets, he bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. A lot of Stalkers do go down. Here come those BCs. Gumiho moving in. As he does teleport away. Teleporting on top of the main army. He wants his Tempest. The Yamato. Ooh, gets one. Gets one Tempest. As all 4 BCs survive, at the same time, Skills coming in for a counterattack. Attempts to dive into the main, and he will. Takes out both tanks. Will sustain some brutal losses, but again, these are trades that Skills can afford. He will lose this expansion. This outpost is going to fall. But Skills is still trading, and I believe he still has a base recall. As he dives further in. Gets one BC. Up. He gets 2. 2 BCs go down. 2 BCs left. Is going to be cleaned up. Zella warping here towards the natural, towards the bugger base. As the main army does move in. And as we did mention, again, it's all about the bases mining here for Skillus. He can rebuild. He has a bank. He has 6k minerals in the bank. He's fine. He shuts down the tank, shuts down the Thors. And GG gets called. Skillus, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Skillus. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth between Skillus and Gumiho. And Skillus, he will claim it. There were some rough moments for both players. There were some crucial moments here for Gumiho as well, when he was able to surround the main army, he was able to push into the production. But last, he was eventually cleaned up, eventually shut down. GG. GG, well played. Skillus will claim the series. And that takes us into our next match of the night. Again, the night is still very much so young. We have more matches ahead of us here. We are halfway through the broadcast. Let's go. We are halfway through the broadcast. I'm going to get congratulations here to Skillus. Do need a moment to update the scoreline. And we're going to be heading over to the European server. Why Europe? Well, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. We do have some updates, so we do have plenty to catch up on. Here it is. We just wrapped up with Rainer versus Dark, with Skillus versus Gumiho. Up next, we have a ZVP. Serral versus MaxPax. This is going to be a rematch. Again, we have casted a lot of Serral versus MaxPax actually as of late. We casted them face-off twice in Masters Coliseum. Once, MaxPax was able to win in the upper bracket, and then he lost in the rematch. So they have been going back and forth. It's been very back and forth between MaxPax and Serral. At one point, MaxPax winning a series, then Serral winning a series, then MaxPax once again. And we'll see if Serral can bring it back. We shall see, as they are facing off in a best-of-5 after the break. Again, we're going to be going in a short break. Vetoes are underway as we speak, and when we come back, we will have the second half of the broadcast. We'll have Serral versus MaxPax, followed by Clem versus herO. We'll get there. We will get there. Until then, we'll see you guys after the break. See you soon. Take this time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, pet your probes, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back soon with some more StarCraft. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our third series of the night. Welcome back to the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs Day number 2. And we have a banger of a ZVP. This is a rematch. We have had a back and forth rivalry between these two players over the course of the past week. And now they face off once again. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Slashron Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. There we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Whew. As the Gamba is open for the next couple of moments here. For those that are curious, for those who did not watch Master Coliseum, I recommend watching the VODs. The VODs, the event itself, Master Coliseum, was insane. It was crazy. It was dynamic. And we saw Serral lose to MaxPax in the upper bracket. Did go down, did get knocked down, but Serral, he clawed his way back in, and Serral did win the rematch and did defeat MaxPax on his way to the finals. So we have had a back and forth where MaxPax initially won the best of 5 and then Serral won the best of 7. So we have had that back and forth, and now is it time, is it MaxPax's turn to win, or will Serral maintain that streak? Oh boy. Now what I will emphasize when it comes to their games, when it comes to their matches, Serral very often was attempting to end the game a little bit earlier. If MaxPax could stabilize and could embrace a 3, 4, 5 base economy, if he can get into the end game, the late game sky toss, that is where MaxPax thrived. That's where Serral had a very hard time keeping up, especially the first time they faced. The second time they faced Serral, he was a lot more active, a lot more aggressive, and a lot more able to just keep up with the movement of MaxPax to punish him and to cripple him before MaxPax could really reach that ideal kind of game state, that ideal composition. So we saw Serral switch gears. We saw him switch gears entirely in the rematch, and we'll see if he continues that trend here in this fresh best of 5. But now, standard openers. It is going to be Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Serral. Likewise, MaxPax going for his own gate expand into Cybercore as well. We have a take of choice, Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of MaxPax. Stargate into Oracle. I would imagine he can open Void Ray, which he did like to mix in from time to time into his matches, into his games, to keep Serral in the dark. Here we go. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he does. But now the Overlord does dip in towards the main. Does confirm the... should soon confirm the opener here, as it is going to be an Oracle opener out of MaxPax. Serral, he does dip in further to confirm. There we go. Does Scout is aware. Is aware of the Oracle coming his way. Serral, he pulls back. Keeping up with the Adept. The Adept will shut down the Tumor. Nice catch. Active Tumor goes down. Serral is getting his third. Link speed is on the way. Serral pulling back into gas. I'd imagine working towards a faster Eva chamber into +1, but we'll keep an eye on Serral. We'll keep an eye on him. Okay, we're back. Whew. Likewise, Oracle gets across the map. Not really getting anything too much done yet. As we know, lava goes down. No drones either. No damage, but does Scout. Is keeping tabs on Serral. So far, so good. Behind his third base is on the way. Serral isn't being too active to punish it. I mean, again, welcome one and all to Amygdala, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Much more difficult to try to punish and be aggressive with Lings. As the Oracle comes from behind, gets one drone, gets one, gets two. 2 drones go down, and MaxPax does pull away. Does pull away. Catching out a couple of workers. There is in production. And Serral, he is going for the safety roach one. Does go for the safety roach one here. Not taking any chances, not against MaxPax. Likewise, MaxPax getting into Blink, into +1, 4 gateway explosion, getting to a 6 gate setup. Standard setup so far by MaxPax. As we're easing our way in towards the mid game. Nothing crazy from anyone. We see MaxPax getting a couple of drone kills here and there, but nothing too major. Likewise, Serral getting his 4th, still droning into his own upgrades, playing things out safe. And from here, we're waiting to see if MaxPax throws down extra gateways or if he takes gases and techs up. And he should be taking gases. He should be looking to eventually expand. Speaking of setting up for a longer game, there's that Hydrogen, +1 range. Serral going into Roach Hydra initially. Or even Ling Hydra. 4th base is on the way. Overseer will confirm, gets eyes on all the tech. As it is zoned away. Gets eyes on the lack of additional gateways. MaxPax, he's going to be applying pressure to the 4th, and Serral, he does have some lings to defend. There's 24 lings. Hydras are coming out just in time. So far, so good. Serral trying to catch reinforcements. Was he doesn't bait out the stasis. Attempting to catch out a Stalker. The hatchery taking a lot of hits. Serral has to engage. Come on, volleys, Scotch Transfuse, saves the base. But MaxPax, he's gaining ground. Lings, they turn back around, they take the stasis. Oh! Baits out 1, baits out 2, and the 3rd as well. Whew. Clutch moves by Serral. There's still 1 more stasis behind this. And another one. Gee, they just keep going. They just keep going. They just keep on coming here, but Lings, they still overwhelmed. They catch out 3 of those Stalkers. Another stasis, massive connection. And Serral has to respect it, he has to back up. Has to pull away. MaxPax, he maintains his position. Now getting into +2. Pulls away. Catches a Hydra. Serral still massing out more lings. That hatchery's still very low, and MaxPax, he wants it. He wants the base. But not quite going to get it. So he's holding, at the same time going for his own link counterattack, trying to punish, trying to shut down that 4th. Serral has been barely defending. Charge is not yet done. MaxPax being forced back home. There's another stasis. Not bad. And the stasis does punish a Hydra. But Serral reinforces, and he should force a cancel. Massive pickup. This 4th base is going to be delayed. Heavily delayed. 4th base goes down. There's the recall. And MaxPax is in trouble. He's stuck on 3 bases. And Serral is getting ready for a 5th. There it is. 5th base on the way. Serral, he survived the most difficult part of this kind of game state, as he almost lost the 4th. But really, he kills the 4th of MaxPax. Behind this, going into Storm, going to +2. Now, without lurkers, this is going to be a tough hold still for Serral, as I'm assuming that MaxPax is soon going to push out. And this time he's expanding behind his army, so it's going to be that much more difficult for Serral to try to punish this. They move in. MaxPax commits. Vipers are gearing up. Oh! Storm's underway. Storm is revealed. Fleet beacon from MaxPax. Nice dodge here on the Storms. Lurkers are morphing in. Serral just needs a little bit more time to mass up those Lurkers. And then he can hold on. Another Storm goes off. There we go, 6 more Lurkers in production. Again, Serral, he needs a little bit more time. We want massive Zealot counterattack. Ooh, hits the 5th base. Serral, he's out of position, he's not ready for this. And the base is going to be denied. That's a kill, not a cancel. Massive Storm on the Lings. And Serral is being overwhelmed. Brutal losses here, more Hydras falling. Expensive trades here for Serral. MaxPax gaining momentum. Now again, he did well for himself, killing the 5th base and trading out those Lings. Or, sorry, I should say killing those Hydras. But can MaxPax break this without immortals? He only has one. Only has one immortal. He should not be able to break through this defensive line. Serral, he holds. But MaxPax not getting his 4th base. Still very tense between the two players. Tempest production has begun. 2 more Stargates on the way, getting to triple Tempest production. Oh. There's not the stasis. Storm's popping up feedbacks as well. Very nice control. The storm, the stasis, the feedbacks. MaxPax will secure another base. But again, MaxPax still doesn't really have a secure army to fight this head on. He needs more immortals, needs more Tempest, needs more Sky Toss. Can he get there? So rotating over. He's gonna rotate, looking to dive in. Let's get Storms. Ooh, they shut down the Lings. Still trying to pull this off though. Does catch an Archon. One Archon goes down. Meanwhile, the main army coming in from behind. Serral, if he's not too careful, he will be flanked. So he threatens on the right. MaxPax, he pulls back. Does pull back home. Storms popping off. Massive storms on the Hydras. Likewise, Serral pushing in. Nice deductions on those immortals, but the Tempests have arrived. Serral, he needs to gain more ground. Retaking his 5th base. Trying to maintain himself. Serral slowly pushing in. MaxPax, he responds with his Tempest. And how many abductions? How many Vipers? 2. 2 Vipers, they don't have energy. Don't have energy yet. Corruptors are on the way. These are going to be 0/0 Corruptors. Serral is getting caught out, losing 3 more Lurkers. Ay, ay, ay. Got 3 Lurkers. Serral pulling back. Both players are maxing out. And now, we need to take stock here. Who do we favor in this kind of game state? I mean, MaxPax does have a lot of Tempest. His army is split. He's getting ready here for the multi-pronged aggression of Serral. Serral could try to take advantage of this and could try to push into one location here and try to centralize and focus his army to try to overwhelm. But if he tries to do that, there's always a recall. There's always a recall available. Whether it's a mothership or a base recall to reinforce. Serral getting ready for a flank. Fishing for those Tempests. Oh! Gets 2. Really gets 1. 1 Tempest goes down. Meanwhile, MaxPax getting ground towards left-hand side. He cannot push into these Lurkers, but there's only... They're not burrowed! Yeah, they are burrowed. Force further back. So he has to respond. He rotates. Is up against the wall. Still building up more Corruptors. We'll see if Serral can hold on. Is going for the gold. Now has established his 5th. Again, it is very difficult to help to defend that gold base, but I mean, he needs to try. Storm zone away. MaxPax, he gets the hell out of here. He pulls back. The safety of his bases. Just pulling back in general. Again, there's a delicate dance with how MaxPax wants to split up his army, but Jesus, how many Tempests? 9! 9 Tempests. That's a lot of Tempests, man. It's a Lurker. MaxPax pulling away. Does pull back. Both players building up their banks. To build up. MaxPax is trying to gain ground. Serral coming in for a flank. Elastic gets caught out by the stasis. Going for the recall. Breaks his army out. And here we go. Now we have a centralized push. And this time we bring everything together. Mass Tempest, Archon Storm. This is the ideal army. And Serral, how does he engage into this? Carefully. Lands a fungal. Fungal goes up. 3 more infestors on the way. He's down to 2. Lurkers, they do harass. They force MaxPax back. There's a revelation. Ooh. Let's come back home. 7 probes going down. So he breaks out. Ideally, he wants to try to threaten the center base, but I don't think he can really engage with the main army. Not right now. Now, thankfully, the infestors have arrived, and do we have a Neural? We do. Neural is done. 9 Broodlords morphing in. MaxPax, he recalls over. Does recall. So far, MaxPax is keeping up with Serral. And what's scary about this kind of game state here is that Serral cannot expand. He's just now getting his gold, but taking these fringe bases are very difficult here on Amygdala for both players. That's why neither one has taken them yet. Likewise, the gold base also difficult to defend. MaxPax is going to be the first. Takes it to the base. Bottom right. He takes bottom right. Top left is still up in the air. Oh, there's a fungal. Doesn't lose anything. Recalls in time. MaxPax pushing in. Coming in for a flank. Gets eyes on those infestors. Denies mining at the gold. Does deny mining. Gets attacked here on the Broodlords and on the infestors. Infestors trying to come in. Oh, base goes down. And Serral, he rotates. He rotates over and he should deny this base. Essentially trading a base for a base. MaxPax, he responds. This is an opportunity here for Serral. As MaxPax, he's rotating. As he rotates, Serral, he can find an opening. You can see MaxPax being very careful. Does skirt around the edge. Infestors are coming in for the fungal. Up, can he get him? Fungal goes up, does catch the army. Mass feedback. Mass feedback going up. The army gets locked down. Where are the storms? Storms on those corruptors. High Templar going down. Every corruptor falls. And MaxPax holds. Whew. He does hold on. A much better fight here for MaxPax. Does break through. MaxPax, what did he lose? He lost 1 High Templar and 2 Archons. That is insane. MaxPax, he barely lost anything. That was for 10 Corruptors and 5 Infestors. The trade was it. That was crazy. MaxPax, he completely shut down that army. Now, Serral, he remaxes with Corruptor. He's got 16 Corruptors coming in, and MaxPax, he's running out of Storm. He's running out of Storm. Here comes a remax. Storms, they still pop up. Archons as well. But again, limited Storms here from MaxPax. Corruptors, they go for the dive. And the Corruptors this time, with the remax, they kill the Mothership. Mothership goes down. Tempest kite back. Archon gets caught out. At the same time, MaxPax attempting the counterattack. MaxPax holds. He does hold. Maintains the Tempest. He had 9, down to 6. Whew. Again, an intense trade. And a big part of the success for Serral there towards the end was that MaxPax overextended. Despite winning the first fight really well, he kept pushing. He kept pushing, he pushed on to creep. As a result, he got caught by the reinforcements. So MaxPax, he got too excited. He got a little bit too excited there. Has to calm down. Gather energy once again. MaxPax, he is establishing this base. It's getting up and running. The Archon count is very low. MaxPax, he needs more Archons. Oracle gets caught out. Speaking of, the Archons are building up on the left-hand side. Reinforcing with Stalker, actually. Storm going up. Catching out the Lings. Good trades here from MaxPax. Serral tries to respond with his Broodlords. Does try to respond. Oh! Doesn't land the fungal. MaxPax moving in, Serral moving and forcing MaxPax to react here at the gold. Tempest have to be so careful. Despite losing 6 probes, MaxPax still has that fresh mining base. Serral, I'm sure he wants it. I'm sure he wants that Nexus. Yeah, more cannons, more shield batteries. And MaxPax, he is winning this game. I should say he has a lead. He does have a lead. MaxPax, he has more bases, he has a larger bank, mineral and gas. He has been able to out-trade his opponent as well. MaxPax has been more efficient, and as we said before, previously when we've been casting MaxPax versus Serral in Master Coliseum, it's usually, this is the kind of game state where MaxPax wins. Like, if he's able to get a solid economy and have the ideal late game composition, this is where Serral struggles. This is where Zerg struggles. Storm going up. Really, he's hoping for MaxPax to make mistakes. Like previously, when MaxPax overextended, that's what Serral wants. That's what he's hoping for. But Serral, he will lose an expansion. Pushing in. Again, he's forcing a reaction out of MaxPax. Serral just getting bullied back. MaxPax, he can just try to collapse in from both ends. As MaxPax, he's gaining ground. Clearing up creep. Again, the creep for Serral is non-existent. Like, there's no creep. There's no real map presence for Serral. Like, MaxPax, he's just been so careful and he's been controlling this so well. And again, this is how MaxPax has beaten Serral in the past. As long as he doesn't get caught out. Testers, they're coming in for the fungal. Big connection. Fungal goes off, and now it's its moment. Dives in, Stasis goes off as well. Storms on the Corruptors. Oh, and the High Templar go down. Massive win here for Serral. Takes the fight, forces the recall. Some of the army does survive. Serral, that was the best fight that he could have hoped for. I mean, cashing out most of it. Took down 4 Tempest, the Mothership, 8 High Templar. Really was killing the High Templar. He killed the High Templar so quick. And the Corruptors survived. Corruptors did survive. You can see Serral attempting to take top left. Now remember, MaxPax has a pack, and you can see Serral, he's running out of resources. He's running out of gas. Specifically. So that was a good fight, but the reality is that MaxPax can afford a loss like that. MaxPax, he can afford it. So MaxPax, he's already remaxing. Oh. Has to respect the Broodlords. Top left is denied. Serral denying mining time. Ooh, Lurkers get caught out. Serral committing here to the Nexus. MaxPax, how many Tempests? 9. Once again, 9 Tempests. Gets a Broodlord. Gets 2. Nexus goes down. And Serral, he will deny both bases. The Nexus is denied. Likewise, Zealot War, it's a slow Zealot Warpin, so a rough trade here for MaxPax. He has to respond with his army. Serral is still in this game. Like, it is an uphill battle for Serral, but he's fighting uphill. He's doing it. He's fighting back as hard as he can. And as we saw, he's hoping to catch MaxPax and the open with a big fungal, like we saw just previously. That's what Serral is looking for. That's what he's hoping for. To catch him out. Serral trying to respond. It's a lurker. Lings, they move in once again. And MaxPax actually just cannot take this base. I mean, I don't expect either of them to. It was a big win for MaxPax to take bottom right. A big win for him. And he doesn't even need top left. All he has to do is just deny this base from Serral. Like, Serral, he's out of bases. Like, he's tapped out when it comes to available resources. He's running out. MaxPax is starving Serral out. Starving him out at this point. And soon Serral, I mean, he's going to be getting a little bit more desperate. At least he has built up a bank. Once again, going for the expansion. Oh, catching at a carrier. Nice pickup. Carrier goes down. Once again, trading a base for a base. Nexus goes down for the hatchery. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. MaxPax, he can commit. He can always recall. And always recall back. Takes down a couple of spore crawlers. Nothing too major. Serral coming in with those corruptors. Max, he gets the hell out of here. He pulls away. So he's sharking for a fungal. Up! He wants it. Doesn't quite get it. Yeah, not quite. He does get 2 Tempests though. 2 Tempests get caught out. Another chain fungal. Feedbacks from the Vipers. Crocs gonna go for the dive. Ooh, it's gonna be a one-way trip here. Tempest count is reset. A lot of Corruptors do fall. Does take down all the High Templar though. Not a bad trade for Serral. Catches all the Tempests once again. Stalkers, they do go in for the dive. They cannot quite punish though. Here come the reinforcements. Again, Archons, they were lacking with the main army. Storms are here. Serral being forced back. But again, catching 9 Tempests, that was huge. As the Archon count was too low. There weren't enough Archons with the main army initially. As we mentioned before, Serral, he's hoping to try to catch the army also, not just out of position, but half at a time. As MaxPax's army will split. Ooh, catching 2 High Templar. Serral, he's pulling this off. Catches the army, denies mining time. Moving in. We have 8 more infestations on the way. Serral takes up left. And again, MaxPax, he mainly rebuilt here with Stalkers. He's trying to build up his Tempest count, but things are getting chaotic. Mothership goes down. Overall's out in the open. Bottom right is going to fall. Serral, he responds. MaxPax needs to pull away. Needs to pull out. Let's pull back home. Gets the safety of the cannons and shield batteries. It does make it back. Snipes the expansion. And once again, even though that was a better fight for Serral, once again, Serral, he's out of resources. He has 2 patches left here on the left, and he has 1 patch here in the center. This is all the money that Serral has left. He's broke. He has no money. And what's important here, this base. A full, fresh mining base. Not exactly fresh, but a full base for MaxPax and the center gold as well. MaxPax, he still has an economy. He still has resources. Serral needs top left desperately. Takes down 8 probes. MaxPax long distance mining. Serral once again going for the gold. And the reality is here that all that MaxPax has to do is just play it safe and deny top left. When I say play it safe, of course, avoid the main fight here with these infestors. Easier said than done. Lurkers, they rotate. And this time the Archon count is much higher. At this point, because this high Archon count, which is what was missing earlier, these Corruptors cannot die. Even with a big fungal, they cannot dive into this. Not on their own. Workers are set. Things moving in. Corruptors, once again, they're looking for those Tempest. Here come those Fungals. Yeah, Tempest are getting caught out. Archons have to move into position. They try to zone away. Storm's going to be going off. Nice spread here with the Corruptors. They do spread well. The Storms, it looks like we're running out. Yeah, no more Storms left. Tempest do fall. And it looks like Serral, he may have just done it here. Again, a very nice spread. With that, the Corruptors, sorry, the Broodlords, they just bully the Ground Army. And top left, it's getting up. For the first time in a long time, Serral, he has a base. He can mine. He has top left. MaxPax moves in. He's hoping for a reaction. You can see here the Broodlords, they're waiting in position. The Broodlords are in position. There's the recall. Recall to bottom right. MaxPax, he is running out of resources. I mean, he's not mining efficiently here. He doesn't really have the probe count for it. He has idle workers. There we go. Does recognize that he's broke himself. Still very tense, but oh so important that Serral can now mine. He has income. That may just be all he needs. MaxPax, he's burned through everything. He's down to only 3 Tempest. The reality is that this army that MaxPax has against Mass Broodlord, I mean, how does he really engage? He's only got he only has 3 Tempest. Has to be so careful with how he does fight. The Corruptor count is still high. Archon count not what it needs to be. So he knows that he has to push in. Well, I should say MaxPax knows that he has to push in. And someone knows it. MaxPax catching out 3 of these lurkers. Sorry, 4 of these lurkers. Here comes a fungal. Oof. Gets 1. Nice movement here by Serral. Saves the lurkers. Oh, lands a fungal. Gets one of the High Templar. One High Templar goes down. Lings at the base. Still resources here. Still value in this expansion. Base goes down. I say that it's like 400 minerals. Like 400 minerals here is going to be forfeits. I mean, everything does count. Look at the units have 16 Corruptors. Again, there should be plenty of, I mean, actually, I was going to say plenty of Corruptors for the Tempest, but what was once 3 Tempest, now up to 9, soon to be 10 Tempest. The question becomes, is there enough to protect the Tempest? We mentioned earlier how MaxPax, he was punished for having only 3 Archons at the time. He just didn't really have his Archon army ready. Likewise, only 3 Archons here as well. It's not that much to really deter a dive. So I'm not too convinced by this composition. And there's a lot of Zealots, which doesn't really help. So MaxPax needs more time to build up more High Templar, more Archons, more Storm. Tempest getting caught out. Almost. Here comes a Cloak. Massive Storm of the Corruptors. Going for the Power Bomb, and he commits. Does commit in. Storms are good. The Zealots are not really going to be able to help. Tempest, they pull away. They survive. Tempest do survive. Can't say the same for the Mothership. Army Force Pack. Down to 1 High Templar. 1 High Templar left. That was a better trade for Serral. Again, these investors, they're just forcing these fights that MaxPax he just can't take. And here they come once again. Another fungal. Another massive fungal. And Serral, he's done it. He has done it despite being behind for so long in this game, despite being down in economy. Takes down the Tempest. Broodlords, they push in. They bully back the army. And after 36 minutes, he's done it, Taki. He has done it. He breaks the base. Whew. And MaxPax now going into Void Ray. Now going into Mass Void Ray, a little bit of desperation. Flux Veins on the way. The reality, though, MaxPax, he cannot afford this. He cannot afford a transition to Mass Void Ray, not this late into the game. Yoinks the Tempest. The Voids, they're actually trading well for themselves, but GG gets called. He gets overwhelmed, and Serral takes game number 1. GG. That was only game 1. GG, well played. Serral, he does take a lead in the series, but that was merely only game 1, and that was not an easy game for Serral either. MaxPax had a lot of really strong moments. He had the better economy. He had some better trades initially, but past the, or towards kind of the last like 15 minutes of the game, what I will say is that Serral, he was able to catch out his opponent twice. There were 2 really big moments where Serral was able to catch out MaxPax, catch him off guard, catch him out of position. The first big one was when Serral caught the army towards the top side, towards the north side. Actually, sorry, before that, if you remember, when MaxPax won the fight towards the south, when he won the fight as he was fighting at the bottom right hand base, after he only lost, what was it, like 1 High Templar, and sorry, it was like 2 High Templar and an Archon or something, and like maybe 1 Tempest. Like, he took such a good fight, MaxPax on his side of the map. He counterattacked, and because it took a little bit too long for him to push in, Serral, he was able to remax with 16 Corruptors, then he punished MaxPax. Initially, that was the first time that Serral gained momentum. Then after that, we saw the fight towards the north, where MaxPax fought with half his army. The other half was towards the south, so he got caught out with barely any Archons, and his Tempest count was reset. So Serral able to catch out MaxPax multiple times there, and with that, able to outtrade and overwhelm. Oh my god. Able to outtrade, able to overwhelm. Again, MaxPax got a little bit too excited and did expose himself, and with that, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. It's going to be on El Dorado. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. Best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Let's go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2 of this best of 5. Again, plenty more games to come, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming down in the series, but that was only game 1. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Leading the series 1-0. Whew, okay. It's been quite a series already here. Game 1 was a banger. What do you have for us here in game 2? What do you have for us? Now, what I will say is that this is also a battle of stamina. Battle of endurance, if you will, between Serral and MaxPax. Now, I do favor MaxPax in those kind of game states. Again, when it came to game 1, MaxPax, he was ahead. He did have quite a solid lead, I will say, against Serral for quite some time. It did slip away, and Serral, he clawed his way back into it, but MaxPax was in a better position initially. And that's the kind of game state where he thrives in, is that kind of late game army composition, split map scenario on Abyssal Reef, on King's Cove, on Amygdala. That's where he can thrive. Here, though, smaller map. Smaller map in the map pool, less bases, shorter rush distance by ground, shorter rush distance by air. Aggression is what we should be expecting to be seeing here on El Dorado, and potentially some more unique builds as well. I mentioned before that Serral, when he had his rematch against MaxPax, we saw a lot more aggression out of Serral, a lot more decisiveness, and he was very much so in MaxPax's face, making it more uncomfortable going in towards the mid game and towards the late game as well. Not necessarily going for all-ins, but just able to find damage and poke holes in the defense of MaxPax early on ahead of time. We'll see if Serral can do that here. We shall see. See in the chat. Hot diggity damn. Let's go. Hello 007. Absolute Kino, papi. Kino. Cinema. Cinema. That was a game. Shema in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Whew. Okay, so we can take a breath. Link speed is on the way. Third base as well. Serral, he's droning up. He is saturating, he's establishing himself. Serral does pull out. The scout is denied, bear that in mind. And from here, MaxPax just opening up Stargate into Oracle. Standard opener for the time being. We'll see if MaxPax does deviate at any point and does try to either rush into tech or be more aggressive, maybe be a little bit more greedy. Is possible. So we are settling in. So far, there's that third base for MaxPax. Back at home, Serral, he is going to be droning, taking his own third, saturating as well. No major tech pause yet out of Serral either. Just settling in. Just going to be settling in. We'll see if Serral can keep up with the aggression of these Oracles. Aggression of MaxPax. Does move out. Cammy the third. Rotates over towards the natural. Queens are in position. Oracle gets deflected. So far, so good. Oh, hello. As that is a Stargate into Robo. MaxPax. I didn't know you were Polish. I didn't. Let's go. I mean, I'm expecting Robo into Twilight Council, but we'll keep it. Yeah, there we go. Twilight Council's on the way. So this should be a really unique build here. Something we don't see too often. Robo into Twilight Council. I would imagine this is going to be for a War Prism into a Templar Archives. I feel like the Twilight Council is a little bit late, though. It is a little bit of a later Twilight Council. Initially, I assumed that this was going to be for a Templar Archives into Archon drop. Yeah, like War Prism into Templar Archives into Archon drop is my assumption, but I'm pretty sure this Twilight Council is late, so it looks like a shaky variation of that build, assuming it is an Archon drop. Yep, it's an Archon drop. So ideally, the way that this build works, as the Link does scout the Robo, is that by the time the War Prism gets across the map at around here, like 3/4 of the way through, then the Templar Archives finishes, and then it's lined up in such a way where you can warp in your Archons just as the Prism arrives. But it does look... actually, it might still be lined up. As the Prism moves in. And yeah, it's late. Yeah, it is a little bit late here. As the Templar Archives is just now finishing. And now it's time for the Archons. He supply blocked. Oh, the brutal supply block for MaxPax will delay for a couple of seconds. Thankfully, not for too much longer. As he throws down extra pylons. And here we go. The Archons are on the way. Again, it's still a little bit delayed, but regardless, still heading out across the map. And we'll see what he can get done. Behind this, we go into Charge, into Immortal production, into Charge of Archon Immortal. That's typically the follow-up into Storm as well. Into a very heavy ground-based composition. And the goal for MaxPax is to catch Overlords, catch Queens, catch drones, and keep Serral busy. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? I see Overlord speed. Pneumatized carapace. We're getting ready for a German taxi. Drop Lords are on the way. So Serral, he's aware of the build, he's aware of the opener. The downside of this build here from his opponents, of course, Nobling Stalkers. It's going to be Charge or Archon, and Immortal production is delayed. It's delayed in favor of all this tech, so there aren't going to be that many Immortals back at home. Serral, he smells weakness. He smells an opportunity. He's like, you know what, you shouldn't have that much of him to defend, and here comes Serral, he's going for the all-in. We said earlier in the series, or earlier this game even, how Serral, he was struggling against the late game of MaxPax, and we saw the last time they faced that Serral, he would often go for all-ins or often go for aggressive builds to try to slow MaxPax down and to poke holes in his defense early on before he can get to that kind of late game composition. We'll see if he can pull this off here and now. The army has arrived. There's one Immortal, soon to be two. Two Immortals for MaxPax. Serral, he attempts to dive. That is a lot of Archons. Roaches, they do trickle in. Nice force field. Yeah, very nice force field. Shield batteries are ready. Station trap as well. Serral, he's not gaining any ground. Not yet. Does commit though. Does commit up into the natural. Going for the Immortal. Another nice force field. Slows down the push. Serral, he commits in. Stasis going up. Almost gets an Archon. Gets one. One Archon goes down. Nice control so far by MaxPax. He juggles well. Second robe is up and running. And Serral, he's running out of steam. So he's running out of steam. The juggling once again saves the Immortals, and Serral, he's running out of resources. He's running out of roaches, I should say. Takes down the Archon though. And Max actually defends. Max actually is forcing this back. The Immortals, they're caught in the back line though. They're not helping. Serral, he can still pull this off. Going for the Robo. One more volley, brings it down. MaxPax now just making one Immortal at a time. So once again going for the dive. Doesn't get the Archon. Hot pickup. Archon does eventually fall. And you can see here that how the soup does lie. Serral, he's up 50 supply, but he's having a hard time breaking MaxPax. But now MaxPax, he's out of Archons. He's out of Archons. A much more open location here at the third. Another Immortal has arrived. Yeah, now we're up to 4 Immortals. Ay, ay, ay. The Immortal count might just be too high at this point. Yeah, Serral, he cannot push in. Not against 5 Immortals. That's insane. And Serral, he's still all in, by the way. He's still not droning. He's still not droning, still not saturating. It's either he kills MaxPax or he dies trying. And he might just die trying. Oh, gets the sentry. Nice pickup. Takes down the sentry. Whilst they do connect. MaxPax getting choked up here. Yeah, getting caught in the choke point. His army's zoned away. The third base is exposed. Nicely done. MaxPax caught out of position. Forced down to low ground. He does keep up though. He does keep up. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax. MaxPax, he has a better economy. He has a higher probe count. He has a more efficient army. Likewise, +2 is almost done for MaxPax. And this is looking bleak for Serral. It is looking bleak here. +2 seconds away. Serral trying to reinforce. Now, to be fair, Serral, he was also behind in game 1. True, he was also behind there, and he was able to bounce back. But it's hard. It's hard to believe here. It's hard having faith. MaxPax even feeling free enough to go for a massive Zealot counterattack. Shield battery goes down. Pylon as well. Depowers the gateways. MaxPax, he's supply blocked. Uh-oh. He is supply blocked. Zealots, they get spotted. Serral, he responds. Does spot the Zealots. Queens and Roaches amassing. He rotates over. Serral, he's maxed out. MaxPax is not out of the woods yet. Oh, the High Templar exposed. Survive. High Templar do survive. Whilst they graze the army. Once again, the Immortals, they can lock this down. As whilst they do delay the push, but the Immortals, they just have their way with that army. They force Serral back. Again, give MaxPax a handful of Immortals and the Prism. And mate, it doesn't matter. 200 supply Roaches, it means nothing. It means nothing, Papi. Serral, he was at 200 supply, now knocked down to 168. Is knocked down. MaxPax is expanding. Serral, he cannot allow this. Does force a cancel, thankfully. As another base would be the nail in the coffin. Storm is done. Yo, we have Burrow. No Tunneling Claws. Burrow to heal up those roaches. Oh. Love to see it. Max is going for another run by, headed towards top right. Again, Serral has not made a drone in the past, what, 6 minutes? It's been a while. He has not been droning. And the base is exposed. Serral, he has some reinforcements. He has some lings. He has a handful of roaches. And now the Zealots, they reinforce the main army. A couple of drones do go down. A couple of probes as well. MaxPax, it might be worth just mining through these southern patches just to expand. But still, he's spreading creep, being as annoying as possible. He has creep at the entrance. He has creep here towards the top side as well. MaxPax going for a counterattack. Serral, I'm sure he noticed. Hope he did. Zealots, oh, they get across the map once again. The Biles! Oh my god, massive connections! Max actually takes the blast to the face. Azu connects. Prism is not here to juggle. The Prism is across the map instead, going for the drop, going for the warp in. Zealots have arrived. Prism taking a lot of damage. Roach is a counterattack in the mineral line. And there is no warp in. Yeah, no warp in. I should say a delayed warp in here from MaxPax. Cleans up all the roaches. MaxPax finally expands. And Serral still hasn't joined. He's still at 50 workers. Does keep up with the Zealots. Main army pushing in. Prism with the main army would be ideal. As MaxPax doesn't want to get surrounded. Does want to get caught out. Ooh, brutal storms though. Yeah, storms are brutal, and MaxPax, he now has an overwhelming army. And we mentioned this before, the longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax. As Serral, he's been trying to maintain this all in. Tunneling Claws is done. Gets across the map. Hits the fresh mining base. MaxPax, he has reinforcements. Storm going up as well. Immortals are getting caught on creep. Massive pickup. He gets one, he gets two. Two Immortals go down. Getting a third Immortal as well. Finally, Immortals are going down. We have a surround as well. MaxPax losing far too much here. Again, the Prism wasn't here to defend. The War Prism was not with the main army. That was a big loss for MaxPax. As MaxPax has been trying to harass. Oh. And so far he's been suffering because of it. So Serral still has a chance. He still has a chance. It's slim, but it's there. If he can catch out those Immortals for a second time. As Max actually so adamant about harassing here. I mean, it hasn't worked out yet, but maybe finally. So I'll say dip in. Serral defends. Serral gets supply blocked. Oh. 3 Overlords on the way. Zealots, they go for the expansion, and the hatchery goes down. Massive pickoff. At the same time, a Roach counterattack with their Zealots to defend as well. They do keep up. Prism. Coming back to the main army, potentially. Archon's getting caught. He loses one, loses two. MaxPax being forced back. The Biles. Oh my god, they take down so many observers. But GG gets caught. Serral, he runs out of steam. He runs out of army. He was all in the entire time. And the all-in fails. And MaxPax fights back. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very impressive initial defense from MaxPax. I'm referring to the initial all-in. When MaxPax, he was caught with only one Immortal. He only had one Immortal initially. He had the second one on the way. And he was able to defend beautifully with some Warp Prism Micro, saving the Archons, warping in more Zealots, avoiding the Biles. Very, very nice defense there by MaxPax. And eventually, as the Immortal count got higher and higher, it became easier and easier to defend. There was some good moments for Serral where he was able to outposition MaxPax from time to time. Was able to outposition, but they were few and far between. As MaxPax, even though at times he was maybe caught out, he was able to respond, he was able to rotate, and make up for it with his control with his Warp Prism Micro. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax does fly back, and now we have a back and forth series, and we're getting ready for Game 3. Game 3 is going to be on ley lines. Oh boy. Here we go. Meanwhile, it looks like our players are asking for a moment. Understandable. Our players are asking. I mean, it's been a long series. It's only been 2 games. Our players are asking for a moment here, so we're going to be going on a very short break as well. Very short, and we'll be back in like a minute or so. Un momento. I'm going to quickly refill my water as they're taking a break. 1 moment. Huh. And we are back. Welcome back, welcome back. We are halfway through the series, and again, the show will go on. We are merely only in Game 3 of this best of 5, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of ley lines, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Skystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Here we go. Whew. We have our openers, we have our setup. We're embracing our best of. Currently tied up 1-1, and now we're loading into ley lines. Ley lines is going to be, I would say, a larger map than El Dorado. True is a larger map than El Dorado at least. But one of the smaller maps in the map pool, aggression can be favored on this map as a result. It is not as clear-cut when it comes to trying to defend, trying to secure your bases. So we could see Serral being more aggressive again. As I mentioned previously, I do feel like MaxPax's strengths do lie in the late game. Even though he lost game 1 in the late game, MaxPax made mistakes. He did make mistakes in that game, which Serral did capitalize on. Serral, he was behind and he clawed his way back in. It was a crazy game 1, an impressive game 1 out of Serral to be able to come back from a very rough position. But Serral, even though he was able to pull that off, ideally he wants to avoid that. Ideally he does want to avoid that. So if he's able to get a lead early on, like the previous game, if he's able to smell weakness, he will commit into all-ins or into just aggressive styles. Didn't work out in game 2, but I mean, we can dust ourselves off. We can. I mean, there's a reason why Serral did go for that. You know, he's willing to try to end the game early if he sees a way to, if he sees an opportunity. Alas, due to MaxPax's impeccable control, I mean, again, like I was still very impressed by his defense at the naturals, or at the third base. Very impressed. And we'll see how our players do settle into Game 3. For now, it's going to be a gate expanded to Cybercore, standard opener out of MaxPax. Stargate is on the way. Going to be that Stargate, most likely into Oracle. I mean, it's always viable here to open up Void Ray instead. Keep an eye on MaxPax as he is rallied across the map. is rallied across. Serral pokes in. It does confirm the Stargate, and he confirms the first unit, the Oracle. So nice scout here by Serral. He pokes in, confirms, and gets the hell out. Behind this is going to be getting ready for his Oracle defense, getting his Queens ready. He can, of course, keep his Overlord spread. Doesn't have to pull them back due to a Void Ray. And it's going to be up to MaxPax here to find a way in, to find some damage. See if he can. See someone asking in chat, is it really a best of 5? Yes, it is a best of 5. Grand Finals part. It is a little bit confusing. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all for being a little bit confused. But this tournament's Grand Finals is a part of the name. It's the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals. Like, that's indicative of it being like the end of year event, right? Like the end of 2024 event for LiuLi Cup. This is not the finals, but we are here in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs, and this is day 2. We're still in the upper bracket semifinals. For some context, we're in the upper bracket semifinals, and the winner of this series faces off against the winner of herO and Clem. So there's Serral versus MaxPax and herO versus Clem. The winners of both these series face off against each other. That's going to be tomorrow. It's today is day 2, and it's a 5-day event. So 5 days of LiuLi Cup. We are merely only in day 2. Only day 2. I get exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We can catch up on that bracket afterwards. Oh, as the Oracle takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage, and barely does escape. Whew, barely gets away. Behind this, we have that follow-up. It is going to be sorry, I was otherwise trying to answer questions in the chat, but it was a Robo once again into a Temple Archives. It looks like the same build. It is going to be an Archon drop. When I say the same build, this is the same build that we saw in El Dorado. It's going to be Warp Prism. By the time the Prism gets across the map, it is going to be Temple Archives into Archons, into Archon drop Harass. So the same build 2 games in a row. If you recall, when Serral saw this, it did trigger an all-in out of Serral. This time it should not. I mean, we have plus on melee. Plus on melee is for Ling Hydra. There is a Roach Warren for safety roaches. Oracles have arrived. Sorry, Archons have arrived, what I meant to say. And Max actually rotates over towards that drop. That's double Archon into the main. Adepse shading towards the natural. And drones are going to be going down. Nice speed goes here from MaxPax. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Can he get 4? Barely not. 3 drones go down. Archons into the main, catching a queen. Good pickups. Does catch a queen. Prism comes in. No, a little bit too late. 1 Archon goes down. Big loss here from MaxPax. That should not have happened. 1 Archon overextends. The Prism was a little bit too far back. And with that, Serral, he's defending well. May have lost a couple of workers, but killing an Archon makes it worth it. So better defense here for Serral. Behind this, do you see what I see? That's Overlord speed. Are we going for the same response? I'm getting deja vu. Serral, he's droning up to 3 base saturation, 67 workers. That is just over 3 base saturation, and yep, we're going for an all-in. It's going to be another German taxi. Roaches, Lings, the Queens are moving out, Drop Lords are on the way, Overlord speed is almost done, and he commits. We're going for the all-in. MaxPax back home, he realizes what's going on, he's setting up. I mean, he sees everything with the Observer. This Observer tells him everything he needs to know. He's getting ready. Cannon, Shield Battery, Storm is on the way. Second Robo for double immortal production. MaxPax does need more time. And can he hold? Throwing down stasis traps as best he can. Serral, he is committing. The Warp Prism is back at home. Zeldaron back here towards the expansion. Serral moving forward. Does move forward, slowly laying siege. Queens are spreading creep. And again, this area is much more wide open. This time there is no ramp coming into the natural. Yeah, less defendable compared to El Dorado. The production is exposed. Cybercore goes down. Massive pickup. And MaxPax, he's waiting for Storm. Storm is almost done. Force the Morphin on Archon. Does he have a High Templar? Uh-oh. Zero High Templar. Zero High Templar because of that Archon. High Templar now morphing in. He does have the NG overcharge. Storm is now ready. But he has no Storm. He has no NG. He has no NG. Not yet. Roaches are coming from the flank. Storm goes off on the Ravagers. Just the one Storm. Herbs are going down. Again, just a really awkward engage here from MaxPax. He's about to get surrounded. Roaches are coming in from both angles. Likewise, so is MaxPax. Trying to push forward, collapsing on the Ravagers. Ravagers going down. Roaches are coming from behind. Catching out the Immortal. I'll pick up. The Archon goes down. Archon does fall. The army is trapped. The space, it's gonna fall. Serral, he's done it. He breaks the third. Third base has been broken. We have a lot of Immortals, but again, they were just stuck on the other base. They were stuck in the natural. Now trying to engage. And MaxPax is just getting picked apart this time. Again, a much more exposed setup here compared to El Dorado. It's more wide open, more spread out, and Serral, he overwhelms. Yeah, this time he will overwhelm. As he takes out 38 probes. The Immortals are trading well for themselves, but what about the economy? What about the economy? What about the third base? As MaxPax, he's getting knocked down to 2. He's getting knocked down. The expansion falls. And from here, if Serral wanted to, Brutal Storm. But if Serral wanted to, he could just drone. He could just drone from here if he really wanted to. Oof, thank God. Files, they connect. And he's still just overwhelming regardless. Takes out Immortal after Immortal. Will commit in. GG gets called, and Serral, he does take a lead in the series at 2-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. This time, I mean, again, almost deja vu. It was the same build out of MaxPax and the same, or a similar response out of Serral. I say similar. If you recall, Serral in game, on El Dorado, I believe he cut workers at 55. I believe it was just under 3-base saturation. This time, it was a later push. It was a later counterattack. Serral did drone a little bit harder, of course, up to 67 this time instead. So he had a greater economy. Of course, that led into a larger push, a larger army as well. And MaxPax, he was caught off guard. Again, one of the big defensive features that did help MaxPax on El Dorado is the ramp. There's a ramp coming into the natural, so there's a point of elevation. Likewise, because of the base layout, if you remember, because of how close the third base is to the natural, you could actually help defend the third base from the natural ramp, where MaxPax was able to keep his Immortals on the high ground and actually lay siege and shoot down to the low ground from that position. Here, it's not possible. Here, the bases are more spread out, and the bases are more exposed. On ley lines, Serral was more successful. Breakthrough. Again, the map itself was kind of working against MaxPax there, more so than El Dorado, of course. And GG. Whew, GG, well played. Serral takes the lead, and now we're getting into game number 4. We'll see if MaxPax goes for a different opener this time. Has had mixed success by going into the Archon drop, as he has done so 2 games in a row. But what I will say, this is going to be a very different map. We're loading into Ultra Love for game 4. Let's go. Here we go. I was gonna say I've been practicing this build and it's been the one mod I used to take a map off of Serral. Yes, that is true. That is true. Mana did, he has been very fond of the Archon drop. He's been very fond of the Archon drop opener. It's true. We've been casting it many a time. I mean, I say Mana's been quite, it's all that Mana does. It's like it's all he does in PvZ. But here we go. We're settling in and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. As he is down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg from land of Finland, representing Basilisk, 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. It is Serral. Here we go. And again, it's been a very intense series so far. And welcome one and all to Ultra Love. And I feel like Eldorado, Game 2 and Game 3 really does show how maps can impact a defense and impact an attack as well. Like, maps, they're so impactful when it comes to the strengths and weaknesses of some of these builds, of some of these setups as well. When it comes to Ultra Love, the rush distance by ground is similar to that of Ley Lines. Ley Lines is the map that we just spawned into previously. What's important though is that here there are ramps. There are points of elevation. There's a ramp coming into natural. The natural is more defendable. Likewise, the third base is also more defendable than on Ley Lines. As we were pointing out on Ley Lines, you could actually pin yourself in between the natural and the third base and push from either direction. Likewise, the third, there was a very wide open area to push into it. I'm referring to the previous map. Here on Ultra Love, 2 ramps, 2 points of elevation here. So being in this low ground setup is actually more difficult to rotate and actually push up into these bases, so it is more difficult to be the aggressor. Likewise, you can knock down this tower, you can fully wall this area off. It's already a natural choke point to begin with as well. On Ultra Love, your 3-base setup is much more defendable than on Ley Lines. So the rush distance is similar, but more defendable. Because of that, if MaxPax did want to go for that build again, it's a little bit more safer to do so. Likewise, because of that, if Serral, I doubt he's going to respond with an all-in. Not on Ultra Love. It's still possible, but I don't know if he would risk it. We'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. We have yet to determine the opener. So far, Stargate here at a MaxPax. We'll see if he goes for a third base into another Robo. If we see the Robo, then that is a tell that it's going to be the Archon drop once again. As Serral does go for the triangular third. And MaxPax is selling in back at home, opening up Stargate. Here we go. We go. I see someone saying that that MaxPax should have maybe tapped out earlier. No, shut, mate. You got to play it out, mate. This is what, especially MaxPax. This is what MaxPax lives for. Bearing in mind, for some greater context to this tournament, a lot of people like, oh, MaxPax, he doesn't play in offline events. What does he play in? Major online events. This is it. Events like Masters Coliseum, which, by the way, MaxPax, he came third in. He had a very good performance at Masters Coliseum. And events like this, LiuLi Cup. You know, when we have other players like Clem and Serral and Maru and herO playing for big tournaments like EWC, MaxPax, where he is supposed to shine and thrive and where he plays his best and plays his heart out, is these online events. Because where else are you going to see him? Events like Master Coliseum and events like LiuLi Cup as well. So, no. You play it out, papi. Put it all on the line. This is MaxPax's EWC. As MaxPax still poke in. Looking to catch out a queen. Oh. And he will. One queen goes down in between the bases. Not bad. And behind this standard opener, as I was getting ahead of myself, I was getting a little bit distracted. This time, no Robo. It's going to be a Twilight Council into Forge. This time, a standard setup into +1 and Blink. This time, there is no Archon drop. This time, there is no early Robo. Despite that, Lings, they do counterattack. They do catch the Adept. They catch a Pylon. Not bad. Nice pickoffs. This does make up for the Queen going down, at least somewhat, from the side of Serral. So Serral loses the Queen, but he kills an Adept, a Pylon, and does come back in. Yeah, probes are going down. Brutal losses. Getting up to 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. 5 probes go down. MaxPax cutting corners. Did not reinforce with extra Adepts. As now they're warping in. Stalker even. And MaxPax, he's punished. And again, with that, Serral, he reciprocates for losing that Queen. And I would say he's in a better position. Lings, they come back in. And this time the Oracles are ready. This time the Lings are deflected. MaxPax does hold. Behind this, as we mentioned again, +1 and Blink into a 3-base setup. I would imagine working towards a 4th base, extra gases, into Storm, into a later game state. Again, MaxPax playing standard this time. Likewise, Serral, He techs, he drones, he throws down gases, Hydra Den's on the way. Serral is not going for an all-in, which is what we expected as well. Like we mentioned it, like again, Ultra Love as a map is more defendable, it's easier to defend, it is easier to fortify. So Serral is playing out a longer game state. So we can sink our teeth into game 4. Sink our teeth into it. Overseer scout into the main. Overseer does scout the Temple Archives. This tells Serral that MaxPax is teching. This means that he knows it's not going to be a 3-base all-in, and he knows he's safe to drone. He's safe to drone up, safe to take his 4th base. I say that Serral, he is massing up some Roach Hydra. I mean, of course, respecting these Stalkers. Does want to get caught off guard. Upgrades are finishing up for Serral, and he will soon be able to break out. Serral cutting workers at 3-base saturation. Bear that in mind. Going for a counterattack. He peels up a couple of units. MaxPax moving in. Picking up. Oh, almost a queen. Almost. As do we have a defensive warp in? Not quite. Yeah, Serral, he breaks through. He breaks through the front door. Links a foot into the middle line. MaxPax still maintaining his position. Trading with the roaches. Catching out some of the queens. Very nice pickup. There's a transfuse. And back at home, 8 probes going to be going down. Nice counterattack here from Serral. Well, stage traps, they get baited out. And MaxPax is in trouble. He has to fall back. And again, Serral, he's not droning. He's not droning his 4th base. He's going for a very committed counterattack. This time with Ling, Roach Hydra. We mentioned at the start of the series how Serral, if he can end the game early against MaxPax, he will. He does not want to get locked into late game. Not with MaxPax. He's going for it. He's sending it. See MaxPax getting ready. So he rotates, he responds. In between the bases. Oh! Stasis goes up. Hydra starts stepping forward. Shield Riders are not ready. Yeah, Shield Riders are just not ready in time. Stalker's being forced back. There's one more stasis. Doesn't quite connect. And it looks like Serral, he has done it. He's broken past the ramp, or past the choke point. Was able to bypass it entirely. And MaxPax, he was caught off guard. He was not ready. 1 shield battery ready. No cannons, no additional shield batteries. MaxPax, he was getting ready for a longer game state. And Serral, he ends the game here and now, as he will overwhelm. And these are just expensive losses for MaxPax. Losing Stalker after Stalker. Oh, as MaxPax is trying to hold on. Trying to force this back. Bleeding out 10 probes. Goes for the Nexus. Nexus goes down as well. Points are being pulled. And Serral's done it. So he's broken the back of MaxPax. GG gets called, and Serral, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very aggressive style here out of Serral. We did have an insane game 1, a very intense late game in game 1 on Amygdala. But after that, purely all-ins. All-in in game 2, game 3, game 4 from Serral. What I should emphasize, different kinds of all-ins, different forms of aggression out of Serral, but aggression nonetheless. And again, as you mentioned, MaxPax, he did fumble the ball in game 1 when it came to his lead in the late game. And after that, Serral, he was like, never again. Just never late game again. We end the game early or not at all. GG. GG, well played, Serral. He will claim the series. He will advance on into next round, and we have one best of 5 remaining here in tonight's broadcast. We're hopping over to the Americas server. Why exactly? Well, we have some European on Korean action. Up next is going to be a TVP between Clem and herO. Let's go. Let us go. Just quickly updating the brackets. Oh, beautiful. As you can see here, these have been the matches that we have been covering tonight. I do recommend the VODs. I recommend you check out what we have been covering here tonight, whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube. But here we go. Reiner took down Dark. Dark is eliminated from the tournament. Gumiho also eliminated from the tournament as well, as Skillz brought him down. Likewise, Serral knocks MaxPax down to the lower brackets, and we have herO versus Clem coming up next. The final best of 5 of the tournament. Let's go. And after we wrap up these matches, we can catch up on the bracket itself. I'll open up the Wikipedia page and we can go through all those matches and what it entails and how the bracket has been looking, how it's updated. We'll get there. Here we go. I think Serral versus MaxPax series is the best one can get at the moment. I would say that like that's like the best ZVP you can see. Like the best if you want to watch some ZVP action, whether it's Serral versus MaxPax or Serral versus herO, like you're not gonna get any better ZVP than that. As they are the best in the world. They are the best. And likewise, we have the best here as well. Clem is the reigning world champion. He is the best Terran player in the world, and arguably just the best player, period. The best player here as well. herO, he is the runner-up of Massive Coliseum. I recommend the VODs over the weekend, a couple of days ago. We did, of course, cast every single day of Massive Coliseum. All the VODs are available on YouTube and on Twitch. herO, I would say, is the best Protoss player currently. Based on the performances in Massive Coliseum, I would currently rate herO above MaxPax. I say currently because depending on the era, depending on the month, we do actually kind of like trade back and forth, and some players rise, other players fall. I do think it's close between them. I think they both have different skill sets, but I think Massive Coliseum did at least confirm herO for the time being, for the off-season of EPT, to be the season of herO when it comes to the Protoss hierarchy. And we'll see how he compares to Clem. herO and Clem, they go back and forth. They do go back and forth. Clem has been showing some weakness as of late. If you've been watching online tournaments, it was this week where Clem did lose to MaxPax in the Wardy TV Monday. So Clem did lose that series to MaxPax earlier this week. Likewise, we saw Clem go to the ace match against Zaun in a LiuLi. I do recommend the VODs. It was a banger of a series, but Clem versus Zaun went all the way to game 5. You could argue, though, that, you know, maybe not the best, I was going to say not the best time for Clem, but I mean, a LiuLi is at a more ideal time for the European region. True. Regardless, we have seen Clem go to the ace match against Zaun this week. Likewise, also against herO as well. Like herO versus Clem, Zaun versus Clem, MaxPax versus Clem. We've been casting a lot of Clem versus Protoss recently, and he has been showing a little bit of weakness here. But what I should emphasize is that for the most part, he's still been winning. He's still been winning. He's still been coming out on top. I expect a back and forth. I'm hoping for a 3-2. Regardless of how this goes, I'm hoping for an ace match. So far as you can see, tonight has been a lot of 3-1s. At least no one-sided series, right? There's been no 3-0s, thankfully. And I don't expect that here either. But I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a little bit more between these two. I'm hoping at least. I'm greedy like that, Pappy. I'm greedy like that. Let's go. As vetoes are underway. So we're going to be going in a short break. Currently, both Clem and herO, they are in the middle of their vetoes. Once they are done, we'll jump in. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes, in a couple of moments. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, get ready for the final series of the night. See you soon. and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the night. Welcome to our final best of 5, as we have 2 amazing players before us, the best of their respective races. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Whew. As we are going to be settling into a PvT of the ages. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Let us go. Now, in general, Clem is going to be favored. 100%. Clem, he is favored here against herO. What I should also emphasize is that we are in the upper bracket, which means there's a safety net. Regardless of who wins and who loses. I mean, who wins is going to advance on to face off against Serral. We just caught the Serral win in series. Serral, he's waiting for the winner of this match. So either Clem or herO face off against Serral. The loser is going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, where they have a second chance at redemption. Bear that in mind. So this is not going to be the last of either of herO or Clem in this tournament. And again, we'll go over the bracket itself after this series. We'll go over the bracket, we'll go over the Wikipedia page, and indulge. For now, economic opener. It's going to be a Rax into CC on the low ground. Economic start here by Clem. Likewise, herO going for his own gate expand as well. So we do have our own setups here. I should say gate cyber expand here by herO. We are going to be settling in. So standard openers, I should say standard opener out of herO, economic opener here by Clem. So we do settle in. And of course, welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala, we were just here previously in Serral vs MaxPax for Game 1. This is one of the larger maps in the map pool, known for longer game states, known for the mid to late game, just because of how long the rush distance is and how large the map is as well, how difficult it is to try to push in and deny bases and disrupt the 4 or 5 base setup. Can be quite difficult. At least we got to experience that between MaxPax and Serral. We'll see how herO and Clem approach this instead, as herO is typically a much more aggressive and much more assertive player. Typically. For now, interesting Stargate opener out of herO. Again, Stargate openers are usually very map dependent. As we've said in the past, Stargate openers can be very risky when it comes to smaller maps, but on a larger map like Amygdala, we can get away with this. We can get away with something like a Stargate. Reaper dips in, and Clem does confirm. Does confirm the Stargate. Clem is aware. Behind this should be getting ready with Cyclone production, of course. Cyclones, Vikings, Marines are amassing as well. Clem should be focusing on the anti-air. As we see, it's going to be an Oracle, not a Phoenix. Initially, Oracle opener. Now, this Oracle opener can lead into Phoenixes, or this could be Oracle into a Twilight Council into a ground switch. Both are viable, both are options. We'll see what herO goes for. As Clem pulls away, herO just going straight for his third off of what? Jesus. Gate into Stargate into expand. Very greedy build here by herO. As herO, this is his army, by the way. 1 Stalker, 2 Stalkers even, like one Adept, 3 Stalkers even. Like, it's barely an army, so very greedy play by herO. But we did mention earlier, and I'm going to echo that sentiment once again, this is one of the larger maps in the map pool, known for mid to late game, known for cutting corners, known for being greedy, just because it's more difficult to be assertive and aggressive on Amygdala. So if you're going to cut corners, I mean, this would be a map for it. So bold move here by herO, but a calculated move nonetheless. Behind this, Clem getting to his own add-on swaps. Cyclone has arrived, getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Is building up, opted not to go for the Viking, just the Cyclone. He pokes him with the Reaper, and with the help of this Reaper, Clem, he will confirm the timing of the 3rd Nexus. He knows how greedy herO has been, as the base is almost done. Nexus is just about to finish. So the greed here of herO is real, just now getting to his gateway follow-ups into Blink, as we mentioned. We do see a grounds transition here from herO Oracle into Blink Stalker. And I believe only one. Yeah, just the one Oracle. And you can see that Clem, he's ready for defense. Like, the initial Stargate opener did kind of force Clem to be more defensive here, waiting for the harass that never came. The Oracle that never was. Ah, Smurge. Here we go. Here he's setting up here outside of the expansion, throwing down the stasis, looking to poke in. Blink is finishing up in 10 seconds, and with the help of Blink, here, can he break that bunker? Clem, he's set up in the main. The low ground here is much more exposed. Remember, Stim is just about to finish. Stim is finishing up in a couple of seconds. Ground Army does rotate. herO does not find a way in. Oh. Stasis is baited out. Stim is now done. herO does engage, gets one Marine. Just the one though. Getting a second for a Stalker. Better trade for Clem. Takes down one Stalker. herO force back. Force to disengage. And Clem, he wants those Stalkers. Doesn't quite get them. But it does force herO back home. Forces the recall as well. Drop into the main. Marines, they pop up. They get 3 probe kills. Very nicely done. Very nice damage. So we get 3 probes. Clem, he commits, pushing in towards the third base, takes out the stasis, and he's punishing the greed here of herO. herO is trying to keep up, does throw down those force fields, does go for warping as well, but does he have enough? It's going to be close. It's going to be a close defense, losing 5 probes, but herO holds. herO, he does hold on. And that could have been so much worse. And what's scary here is that herO, he survives, and he gets away with the base. Clem, he's checking. Clem, now he checks. Now he confirms that herO, this entire time, he was expanding and getting a 4th. Like, the 4th base is almost done, and Clem is still just now taking his 3rd. Again, Clem, he's here to knock it down. He's here to deny the expansion. herO just being too greedy. Can he get away with it? Zelsei dive in. Ooh, they force a bit of friendly fire. Oh. One shot doesn't quite connect. Doesn't go up. Do you have a force field? Ugh, barely trying to look down the army. But the pylon goes down, denies the warp in. Massive pickoff. And Clem, can he break through? Looks like he is. Yeah, Stalkers are falling one after the other. The base is going to be broken. The Immortal rallies in, gets surrounded. Massive pickoff as well. Here, he's barely holds, or he does force back the army. Whew. But that was a messy fight for herO. It was a messy engagement. Losing an Immortal, bleeding out a warp in. herO, he's barely holding on, but Clem has momentum. As Clem, he's just rallying across the map. Remember, because of that pylon, no shield battery, no defensive setup. herO, he is struggling. And he needs more time for another warp in. The base is getting lit. It's going to go down. Okay, one more volley. It's so close. Yeah, Zealots, they just get kited to death. More Zealots on the way. Mine shots going off. The Zealots, they get evaporated. And from here, Clem has broken the expansion. Takes down the 4th. Shut down most of the army. Once again, another missed rally. herO, the missed rallies. The 2nd time. Immortal thrown away for free. And again, imagine if he had it. Imagine if he had the Immortal. Liberator coming in. And so with that, he just stims. He stims. And he's looking to win as well. Catches the Colossus. I mean, Clem, he is running out of he's running out of army, I should say. He's running out of steam. Has to pull away. Has to consolidate his forces. Does have to consolidate. Mine shots going up. And from here, Clem, he has done it. He has broken the back of a herO. herO, he's been fighting his heart out. Doing what he can. There's only so much he can do. That's 15 probes going down. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. He does take a lead in the series, but as a reminder, best of 5. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us, plenty of games to come. Oh my god. Yeah, Clem does take a lead. Again, basically, what this game came down to here in Amygdala, herO just being so greedy. herO, he rushed into the 3rd, he rushed into the 4th base, he was hoping he wouldn't be punished for it, but alas, he was. Alas, in the end, we saw that that Clem, he was able to eventually scout the 4th base. Even before that, he was able to have a very strong engagement at the 3rd, scouted the 4th, he did deviate his attention to it, and was able to bring it down then and there, forcing some really awkward engagements out of herO. Didn't help that, of course, here he was rallying Immortals in as well. I mean, that didn't help in the defense. But even before that, if you recall, Clem, he gained momentum when he denied the warp in, right? He denied the warp in, he sniped the pylon, as I was trying to emphasize. Because that pylon went down, it wasn't just the denied warp in, it also meant no shield battery. It means that we could not have a shield battery at that 4th base either, because the pylon had been killed, and it all just snowballed from there. It all just very quickly escalated out of control. GG, in favor of Clem. And now we find ourselves getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. Here we go. Not a great way for toss. What do you mean? Raynor beat Dark with Protoss. if you weren't watching earlier, Raynor, he did pop off with Protoss. That did happen. Oh no. And again, MaxPax, he was in a better position against Serral in game 1. I recommend the VODs. I do recommend the VODs. Do recommend. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Gonna be on Whispers of Gold. Here we go. And weren't you watching? I mean, Skillus beat Gumiho. What do you? Oh god. I recommend the VODs. Anyway, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, who down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back here and now. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player from Atlanta, France, representing Team Liquid, the reigning world champion, the best player in the world. It is Clem. Here we go. Whew. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing a very different dynamic this time. As a reminder, last game, a big reason, I mean, we just went over it. herO, he was just cutting a lot of corners and being hyper greedy. Clem, once he noticed, he was able to punish the greed of herO and bring him down. Here, we're loading into Whispers of Gold. For the first time tonight, actually. Whispers of Gold is known for aggression. This is a much smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Whispers of Gold, and it goes both ways. Whether it's herO that wants to be aggressive and assertive, or Clem, it is much more difficult to defend. The reason for this is because 1, short rush distance by ground, true. 2, the 3rd base and the 4th. The 3rd and the 4th bases are very much so exposed. And coming in towards that 3rd, there's no like high ground advantage, there's no point of elevation. It is a lot more wide open. You can also poke in between the natural and the 3rd base as well, as this area is also on the same plane of elevation as the natural and the 3rd. And coming into the other triangular 3rd base or the 4th base, large ramp. There's large ramps, there's multiple entry points as well. Very difficult to defend, to survive. Not impossible, but difficult. The map is working against you, in a way. So we'll see how our players adjust. For the time being, economic opener. Clem going for a Rax expand, economic opener here by Clem. Meanwhile, herO back at home, likewise standard opener as well. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Adept is on the way. Ooh, speaking of nothing crazy and wild, let's go. It's time to be aggressive. Now, this does feel like a proxy Stargate. This wouldn't be a bad location for it. Not saying it has to be. We could be hiding tech, or this could even just be a reinforcement point, but we have seen herO embrace proxy Stargate quite a bit here in his recent PvTs. So that is what I'm expecting. Yep, and that's what it is. Again, if you watched herO versus Clem in a LiuLi League yesterday, then you would have seen this. It was not on Whispers of Gold. What map was it on, actually? Ley lines. Yeah, it was on ley lines, where herO did rush into... Oh, did go into the proxy Stargate, and the purpose of this, as the Adept goes down to the Reaper here, just barely. One Adept for 2 Marines. Reaper moves out, second Adept has arrived to keep the pressure on, to shade towards the natural. To deny mining time. But again, we casted Clem versus herO yesterday in the LiuLi, and Clem did bring him down. herO did open up with a proxy, but he got punished real hard, real quick. We'll get into it, but this is going to leave herO a little bit vulnerable. And Clem was so good at punishing. Meanwhile, so far, 2 SCV kills. Oh, getting 2 SCVs, does avoid this round. At the same time, Reaper gets behind the mineral line, but herO is keeping up. herO, he is keeping up. Keeping up with that Reaper. Minimizing losses, getting another SCV kill, getting 3 SCVs, not bad. And the Oracle is on the way. Now, the concerning thing about this build as... Ooh, Clem does get 1 probe. Does get a probe. But the concerning thing here about double Oracle is that if this doesn't get damaged, and if this doesn't keep Clem pinned back at home, then herO is vulnerable to a counterattack. But the SCVs are going down, the army's out of position, massive pig off here. Getting 3 SCVs, 7 in total, getting another... And, oh, the mine shot! Ooh, massive connection. Bit of miscontrol there by herO. Did not notice the Widow Mine, and with that, if that mine shot hadn't gone off, more SCVs would have gone down. 100% more SCVs would have fallen. Clem would have been in more trouble. He would have been in trouble here. But the mine shot was exactly what he needed. Adepts, they keep shading in. Second Oracle has arrived, rotating over towards that main. Clem is holding. Widowmine is repositioned. More SCV is going to be going down. Widowmine is here behind the gas geyser. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Never mind. Has moved over. Oh. Has moved over. Viking has arrived as well. herO being forced back. And behind this here, he expands. Gets a 3rd. Now, when we saw herO fall in the LiuLi series was when he had gone for this opener, and because of this, because he invested so heavily into this tech, what does this mean? Means no blink. Blink is late. Intentionally so. Blink is late. Blink is delayed. Likewise, the ground army is very much so. There's not really much to work with. There's not really much on the ground, and because of that, counterattack. herO, he is vulnerable to a counterattack, so Clem just sends everything across the map. Can herO protect the 3rd? A lot of this will come down to the stasis. Stasis has been thrown down. herO, he does hide the stasis. Oh! Oracle falls. Massive pickoff. And Clem, does he notice? Oh, he does. Yeah, he does notice it. Baits out the stasis. Very nicely done, but here comes another warp in. herO, he's bought enough time. He's bought enough time. He has an extra warp in. 5 Stalkers to defend. Sorry, 6 Stalkers even. And Clem shouldn't have enough here. Whew. Shouldn't have enough. I say that. Another Cyclone has arrived. Lock-ons can be brutal. herO trying to maintain himself. Trying to maintain. You can see here trying to bait out that Widowmine shot. Not going to get baited. Oh! Trying to force some friendly fire. Blinks in, but he'll bleed out a lot of Stalkers. Oh, the blinks that were not ideal. Oh, that was not... Oh, God. Not like this. Bleeding out 3 Stalkers. 3 Stalkers go down. herO, he's in trouble. Bleeding out another Stalker. The lock-ons are brutal. The lock-ons are insane. Then preserving that Cyclone. 10 probes going down. Liberator into the main base. Getting 11, 13. Oh my God. 13 probes falling. The base is under fire. The tank has arrived, and herO, he's being broken. Here and now. Again, we spoke about this is the weakest part here of Proxy Stargate. Oracle falls, the base as well, and herO, he's crumbling. He crumbles under the pressure, and he's being punished for the proxy. As Clem, he doesn't kill herO, but he does maim him. He does cripple him. Behind this, Clem, he has a greater economy. He's on 2 bases, he has mules, he has more SCVs, he has a better economy. Behind this, going to Stim, combat shields, the pressure is on herO. He needs to counterattack. He needs to get something done. Ah, but there's a tank. There's a tank, there's a bunker. herO, he is denied, and Clem, he's in control. He's in control of this game. It's looking good. And this is deja vu. Again, if you watch the LiuLi series, it's very similar outcome. Where herO goes Proxy Stargate and he gets punished so hard for it. Just because he has that much less to defend back at home. And a day later, same thing. A day later, we're seeing something very similar here. against us loss, I recommend watching the VODs back because they've been winning. But yeah, from here, Clem, he can break out. And Clem doesn't even have to counterattack here. To be honest, Clem, he could just take a third. He could just take a third base and just macro, but nah, he's just going to push. And again, here he's just too far behind. He's too far behind at this point. He's going to need a miracle defense here to hold on. Maybe with some well-placed force fields. Speaking of, tries to lock down the army. Tank does siege. Here he's up against the wall. And here, Hero should be broken. As this third base saturation is just far too late. Tank volleys going up, catching out the Stalkers as well. And Clem is snowballing out of control. As from here, the base should crumble. See Hero trying to dive in, but the mine shots! Oh my god. The mine shots are brutal. Zealots, they melt. They cannot engage. There's not enough here. And Clem, he does it. Takes down the Immortal. Hero heals broken earlier. Boys are being pulled. And Clem will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, not the first time, not the last time that we've seen Clem punish Proxy Stargate. Fun fact, it wasn't just Hero versus Clem in the Lima League, it was Clem versus Zaun as well. Zaun also went for the same build in the finals against Clem and also did struggle with it as well. It's one of those things where even though Hero did do a lot, I mean, you could also argue that Hero did make mistakes, of course, especially when it came to the first Oracle. If you remember, Hero, he moved in with the first Oracle and he took the mine shot to the face. If that hadn't happened, if you remember, Clem didn't actually have anything to defend. He had like 2 Marines. Hero could have dealt more damage. Alas, he didn't. He lost the first Oracle to the Widow Mine. With that, Clem was able to defend, was able to force back those Oracles. And again, as we mentioned, Hero, he is very vulnerable after that Oracle aggression just because there's no blink, there's limited gateways, there's limited warp-ins. You are vulnerable after that proxy because it is a proxy. Referring to the Proxy Stargate. So Clem doing a great job at punishing the build, the aggression there of Hero. And now we find ourselves with a 2-0 lead. Clem is up to 0. Clem, he needs one more win to claim the series. Hero needs to fight back Hero now. And as I mentioned before, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want a back and forth. But Hero has gone for some very unique builds. Game 1, Hyper Greed out of Hero. Fast third base. Insanely fast third base in Game 1. Into an insanely fast fourth. You got punished for it. Game 2, Proxy Stargate. Got punished for it as well. Game 3, do we see standard play out of Hero? Or do we do something quirky again? I mean, on the one hand, Hero, that's what he's known for, right? Like, that's his style, that's his, like, mantra, that's his signature play, is being quirky, is being either hyper-aggressive or greedy, just playing a little bit more chaotic, if you will. That's what he's known for, that's what he does best. And does he stick to his guns? As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, he needs your support in the chat. He is down in this series. We'll see if he can bounce back. Representing Weibo Gaming, one more loss, and the series is over. It is Hero. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Like, asking Hero to play standard is almost like earlier in the broadcast, there was someone talking about Gumiho, because we started the broadcast covering Gumiho versus Skillus, and someone was like, oh, do you think Gumiho, do you think he, like, he's less successful because he plays mech against Protoss? And I'm like, if he didn't play mech against Protoss, he wouldn't be Gumiho, right? Like, that's like that's what he does. That's who he be. Like, Gumiho, he's very unique in that way, and that's what I appreciate. That's what I love about Gumiho, is his more unique style. What I should say, how he plays is very stylistic and very unique to him as a player, and that's what makes him stand out. More importantly, when he succeeds with that, it also makes for like some amazing moments. When he does defeat top Protoss players with mech, for example, it is always just a treat to see. Similarly, same with Hero. Like, if you want some like standard macro out of Hero, we may as well watch MaxPax, right? That's what MaxPax is known for. Hero, he's the aggressive guy. He's the player who's more aggressive, who's more in your face. Hero, he's the one that takes chances. And again, he's successful with it, which is, you know, what makes so many people a fan of Hero, right? That's who he be, Pat. That's who he be. He takes risks, he takes chances. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's what I appreciate watching him play. Here we go. Getting into game number 3. And once again, economic opener out of Clem. Once again, the standard opener out of herO. And we're settling in. Gonna be settling in. When you see Clem scouting for proxies, I don't blame him. We were just like having a little bit of a rant about herO and how he takes risks. And Clem, yeah, he's aware. Just making sure there is no proxy, checking outside of his natural as well. A little bit paranoid. I don't blame him. I don't blame Clem. Wants to make sure there's no shenanigans on the way. And of course, welcome one and all to King's Cove. Not the first time we've casted on this map tonight. King's Cove is one of the other larger maps in the map pool. Very large map, likewise very defendable on 3 bases. But the real point of contention is at the 4th location. Whether it's this linear 4th base or the triangular 4th base, can be very difficult to defend, very difficult to hold on to. Is usually where a lot of the fights do occur. Oh. As Clem is going to be settling into his own, what looks to be a 1-1-1 setup. Tech Lab on the way. Reaper dips in. Clem, I believe, is yet to scout. Dives into the main base, does avoid the Adept just barely. And with that, the Reaper, looks like he was able to confirm earlier, Stargate. Stargate opener out of herO. This time Stargate into Phoenix, not into Oracle. And we mentioned earlier in this series on Amygdala how Stargate play, I should say, I can get behind here on some of these larger maps. So Stargate opener here on King's Cove. Adept shades into the main. And gets a full scout. Fast, oh, but Jesus. Very fast RTC. Clem, calm down. Pulling a bit of a Gumiho. If you were here earlier, you would have seen Gumiho also went for a 3rd TC before Starport. Very greedy build here by Clem. And we'll see if herO can punish this. Now, actually, deja vu. This is actually the same setup we saw earlier between Skillus and Gumiho, where Gumiho went fast 3rd TC and Skillus did open Stargate Phoenix. Now, the pressure is on herO. The pressure is on herO to try to punish the greed of his opponent. Can he, though? Phoenixes, they do a great job at denying drops, at gaining map control, and harassing mineral lines. True, that's what they can do, but they can't really do anything about the bases. So this 3rd base should be pretty safe and sound. And Clem should be able to expand and get into the mid game in a more economic situation here with an economic advantage. So very nice setup here by Clem. herO behind this is going to be responding with his own 3rd. 3rd base on the way. Bay behind this. Interesting choice. herO playing old school. If you've been watching for a couple of years now, especially, back in 2022, 2021, Phoenix Colossus. It used to be the meta. It used to be the go-to almost every single PvT. The meta got very stale as a result, as it was just Phoenix Colossus every game. And now we're back. We are back, at least for this game. As the Bay is on the way. So a bit of a blast from the past here from herO. In this kind of setup, on the one hand, herO, he should get away with this. Remember, Clem is being greedy. Clem is being economic. Clem can't really be aggressive and be assertive and try to push in. herO, he's at his weakest here and now before he gets his Colossus. But herO should be able to comfortably get into like a triple Colossus setup, as Clem is going to be focusing on expanding and saturating his 3rd. So on the one hand, herO, he should be quite comfortable. On the other hand, so is Clem, right? Clem, he cut corners, he was greedy, and he is also going to get away with it. Question becomes, who do we favor coming into the mid game? Who are we going to favor here? herO does rotate in. Observer gets eyes on the move out. 3rd base on the way. herO in position to try to delay or get some damage. Turret's in position. Here he spots a 3rd TC. Zipping between the bases. Gets a couple of workers. Ooh, takes a lot of hits. Does get 5, getting 6 SCVs. Very nice. 6 workers go down. Stim is not done. And herO escapes. He does escape, does pull away. No losing a single Phoenix. 7 SCV kills. Very nice damage. And again, this is the kind of damage that herO needs to get done needs to get economic damage, cripple the economy as best he can, just because Clem has a boosted economy. The Observer does spot the move out. Clem, he's sharking around, he's looking for the Phoenixes. Does find them, but doesn't kill them. And again, here just buying time. Just trying to keep tabs on the move out. Back at home, and Colossus. We have one. We have two. Two Colossus. Two Colossus so far. Shield battery. Sentries. Force fields available as well. I would say that here now would be the time to get a fourth, but he's under threat of this army, so I understand delaying the fourth base a little bit. Here it does need the expansion. Okay, fourth is on the way. As Clem gets his third fully saturated. And Clem, he backs off. He sees the Colossus. Doesn't engage yet. Ooh, as Clem, a little bit of miscontrol. kills his own Cyclone. Calm down, Clem, calm down. Gets a Phoenix. Kind of one for one trade. Ooh. Nice force fields locking down the bio, catching out a Marauder. Very nice catch by herO. But you can see here, Clem, he killed a Phoenix and a Cyclone. Aye. It's all good. I mean, Cyclones have kind of served their purpose by this point. They don't really scale amazingly into the mid-game. Behind this, Clem getting a 4 CC, working towards Ghosts. Ghost production has begun. And herO, he's being active now with 3 Colossus. This is where herO finds his stride. With triple Colossus, he's pushing in. Oh, Maestro goes off, takes down a Phoenix. Phoenix is full, trying to force a cancel, does get a kill. That's killed on a cancel, nice force fields. It locks down the army, the Colossus, they trade so well here, the choke point is brutal. Them getting forced back. Force fields are about to run out. Oh, herO taking a chance, does snipe 2 of those Vikings. 2 Vikings left. And a couple hits up. Oh my god. Bit of miscontrol here by herO. He does target those Vikings. Pulls away. Takes a lot of damage. Still very tense between the 2 armies. Clem making 2 Vikings at a time. He's building up. Rebuilding that 4 CC. And while herO is posturing, he expands. The 4th base is getting fully saturated. Behind this, working towards Storm. Storm is halfway done. Here he's just trading. He has no intention of trying to kill Clem. Just containing the Terran, trading with the army. He's on 4. He's getting a 5th. What's happening? He's got 4 Colossus. He's got a 5th on the way. He's crazy. 5th Colossus has arrived. This is a little bit inefficient here. Typically, the reason why you cut Colossus production a little bit earlier on is because, 1, the Viking count is building up. It is building up over time. But 2, you get a lot of overkill, if that makes sense. Where Colossus, they do splash damage on the same targets, and it becomes inefficient at a certain point. Storm's running the army away. As 5 Colossus attacking a bio army does the same damage as 3 Colossus, for example. Unless you, of course, spread out your Colossus fights. Or Colossus swipes, I should say. And here he's maxed out. He is maxed out, moving in. He's still making more. He's great. He's not stopping. He's getting a 6th Colossus. Ay. I mean, he is killing those Vikings, so, I mean, to be fair, he's able to maintain himself. Does take down 2 of those Widow Mines. He is pushing in. I mean, you could argue that against a high Marauder count, I mean, the extra Colossus do extra damage. The boys are being pulled, and they're gonna get lazy. That's Storm. Storms pop up, coming for a surround. Clem comes in from behind, takes down 2 Colossi. There's 3 left. Mine's just gonna be going up. 2 Colossus remaining, but GG gets called herO. He overwhelms, and herO, he takes a game, and he fights back, puts a point on the board. Whew, GG. Oh my god. herO, he does overwhelm. Again, was able to get away with his Phoenix Colossus. Again, an old school build out of herO, but he was able to get away with it, was able to posture, and was able to reinforce as well. Storm's exactly what he needed, and more importantly, in the lead up to that fight, remember, herO, he killed the 4th. He killed the 4th base. He was intentionally sniping Vikings as well, making sure the Viking count stayed low, and with that, he kind of forced Clem to commit. to overextend himself. GG. GG, well played. Whew, here we go. We have a series, we have a back and forth, and remember, personally, I would love to see an ace match. Regardless of how this goes, I want to see a game 5, but the pressure is still on herO. Can he bring it back? Can he force that ace match? We're loading into ley lines for game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. Just non-stop Colossus Bappy. Send it, send it. The lasers are real. Let's go. The lasers do not stop. And here we go. We are getting into our next game. Loading into our next series. Spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. Does put a point on the board, and can we extend this series even further? Can we go to the ace match? The pressure is still on. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. As we are settling in. And again, we were able to embrace a bit of a longer game stage, getting into the mid game. Again, herO, he has gone for some very unique builds so far in every game. We have yet to see like a standard setup. Like I'm talking 3-gate blink into a third base into Storm. That has not happened. Not yet here in this matchup. Meanwhile, Clem, he's coming in for an eBay block. Cheeky move here out of Clem. Does move out. Going straight for the eBay. Straight for the natural. Let's go. He's going to try to force an inefficient start here out of herO. eBay is going to be placed. And we'll see how long it takes for herO to scout. Here he does move down to low ground. Ooh, he actually pulls back for his Cybercore. And now moves down, and this eBay has plenty of progression. Halfway done, and herO forced to expand elsewhere. You can see Clem, he's at the triangle third, and herO is going for the forward expansion. Very exposed base. Very difficult to hold on to. So, a very strong start by Clem. Clem, he's kind of forcing herO to kind of dance to his music, if you will. Clem is the puppet master, forcing the exposed base. And we'll see if Clem can punish this location. Again, you can lay siege upon the mineral line from the low ground with tanks. Like, tank fire here can be brutal. In a way, there is a ramp coming into the base, so this location specifically on the left-hand side is more defendable. That is true, but there are multiple angles of attack. You can attack from the left, you can attack from the right, you can ignore the base and just go past and go straight for the main or straight for the natural. It's not going to be easy here for herO. Not impossible, but not easy. Behind this economic opener, I say economic factory is done. CC just now beginning, so it was a racks into factory. The reason for this, the CC is delayed because, of course, Clem had to afford the eBay. So the eBay does delay the command center. There is at least that. Zealot pokes in, and here he confirms. He confirms it's not a one base all in, and he confirms that the CC was delayed. But still on the way. Still in production. Here is being forced back. Clem vying for map control. Throwing down extra Raxes. Getting into his... Oh, actually. Getting into his 3-1 setup here before the Starports. This looks like a 2-base all-in. This looks like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. What I'm referring to here, very delayed Starport. Delayed Starport. This is going to prioritize stim, prioritize upgrades here for the bio and marine production. So very aggressive by Clem. Doesn't have to be an all-in. There are variations of what Clem is doing where it allows you to pull the boys. As Hellions are being shut down, 2 Hellions head towards the mineral line, but there's a shield battery, and Clem, he pulls away. Does pull away. Does race back home. My hero is setting up. So he's going to try to go for the dive. Alas, the Cyclone has arrived. Clem, he is secure with the Cyclone. You're attempting to commit once again. Was hero, I believe he does barely spot the yeah, he spots the Hellions. So the Phoenixes, they respond. And Clem, he knows he got scouted. He pulls back. So really good move here by Clem. Just kind of faking out hero. Hero looking for looking for Hellions that don't exist. Well, they do, but they're not across the map. Meanwhile, Stim is halfway done. We spoke about this earlier. Big delay in the starport. Starport is heavily delayed because of that fast Stim, fast combat shields, fast tank production. Clem, he's building up towards a massive timing with Stim and combat shields. And again, Clem, he's going to have the option to pull the boys, but he goes for the eBay. Okay, he's going for the eBay, so he's going for +1, which means he's not going all in, but still very aggressive nonetheless. And we'll see if hero can survive it. Hero, he saw some of the production, not everything. Here comes the move out. Hero back at home. Extra gateways, charge is halfway done. Hero, he needs a little bit more time. Getting his third. And here comes the push. Here he does find the Hellions. But his main army is lacking. There we go, the army is spotted. Clemmy is committing. Phoenix, they race back again. That's a lot of bio. And Hero, can he save this base? Pylon goes down. Hero, he gets supply. He gets supply blocks as well. Brutal supply block for Hero. He cannot warp in. Throwing down extra pylons. Falling back to his natural. The gateway, that's the next. It's going to go down. There's no saving it. Charge does complete. He dives in. Goes for the dive. Takes down the first tank. First tank goes down, forcing friendly fire. And Hero, he will clean this up. And this is a good fight for Hero. If only he hadn't lost the base. If only he hadn't lost the Nexus. Thankfully, still in a 2-base economy. Now going up for a counterattack. Then he is secure. At least trying to be. Tower's not done. SCV's going to be going down. Very nice damage. Getting 3 SCVs. Does escape. Gets 3 SCV kills. Hero trying to rebuild. Now, at least Clem was committed to pull that off. Now, the first medevacs are on the way, and there is no third CC yet. So Hero, he's not out of this. It was brutal losing the base, but he's not out of this yet. Still maintaining his Phoenixes. Building on more Zealots. +1 attack is on the way for both players. And he does spot the CC. Oh, my God. Does spot the CC. Will delay. Does delay the expansion. Gets 2 SCVs. Every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. Hero is rotating. Just trying to keep up. Likewise, the third base is almost done. Bay is on the way for splash damage. Still no splash damage yet. Here he needs more time for the Colossus. Pokes in. Oh! And here comes the move out. Clem, he breaks free. Looking to expand, looking to take his third base. Chasing back those Phoenixes. Here he has to be careful. Still playing with fire. Proxy, oh sorry, Zealot Rumba is being set up. Getting ready for a counterattack. Does dive on the CC. Oh. Doesn't quite get a win in mine. Doesn't lose the Phoenix either. Oh. Mine shot still doesn't quite go off. Hero pulls away. And once the zombie moves out, then he's ready for the run by. So here he's being very patient. Does want to go into preemptively. Does want to be premature. Moving in, gets a couple of SCVs, not bad. Clem out of position. 3 SCVs go down. Observer has arrived. Lifts up the window mine. Nice pickup. Oh. Once again, going further in. Keeping Clem busy. Forcing a stim. Does force a stim. Pulling back. Colossus production has begun. We spoke earlier. There's 1 Colossus already, soon to be 2. And here he's doing everything he can to just buy time. Oh, mine shot goes up. But mine does connect. Likewise, Marine Scout across the map. Clem trying to get a better idea what's going on. Is he up against Storm? Is he up against Colossus? Clem, I believe, yeah, he does scout. He knows. Clem, he is aware. Here is still being as active as possible. Getting a 4th expansion. 2nd Forge on the way. +2, halfway done. Now, despite these damage that Hero has been getting, it's been a couple of SCVs here and there. Clem still has the supply lead. Like, Clem still has a massive army. It's terrifying. Oh! It's a terrifying force. Here you can see he's going to be repositioning the Observer to catch out these Widow Mines. The downside, he might miss the move out. But he wants those mines. Gets both. Pulls away. Oh, Clem, he wants the Observer. He wants it. Oh, oh my god. Whew. There's another stim. 4 CC delayed. Again, just really nice control here from Hero. Hero, he's lost what, 1 Phoenix? Yeah, 1 Phoenix so far. That was earlier in the mineral line. 2nd Observer spots the move out. Hero should be getting ready. He's got 3 Colossus so far. 4th Colossus on the way. Once again, Hero, he commits. Does commit to extra Colossus. Oh. Vikings, they have been amassing. Here he has to get out of here. He's getting cornered. Oh. Gonna be forced to recall. There it is. There's the recall. He bleeds out 1, 2. 2 Phoenixes go down. And now Clem, he breaks free. 4th base is now finally being taken. Clem, he's gonna be pushing out. Back at home, what does Hero have? He's got 3 Colossi. He, I believe, has Storm. No Storm. Disruptor production has begun, but no Disruptors yet. Clem pushing out towards that center location. Clem is maxed. Hero, he's almost there. Catches a tank. Oh, can he get it? He can. He gets 1. He gets 2. Massive pickoffs against both tanks. Vikings are exposed. 1, almost 2 Vikings going down. It does get 2. Very nice pickoffs here for Hero. Ooh, does overextend. Hero pushing in. Massive EMP on the Colossus. Vikings are moving in. Stalker's a little bit too far behind. 1 Colossus goes down. Massive pickoff. Hero, he has to retreat. Has to pull back. Does have to pull away. Again, that was an awkward fight for Hero, as the Stalkers were not quite able to protect. He rotates. Catching out the Widow Mines. 3 Widow Mines going down. Hero pulling back around. Still very tense. Very tense between the players. Hero, he's still making more Colossus. He's like, what's going on? 0 disruptors. 0 disruptors for Hero. And this high Colossus economy is vulnerable to these Vikings. There's 3, down to 2 Colossi, down to 1. The Vikings, they just go ham. And there's no other support here. Disruptor, the first one, now on the way. As the Vikings, they bring down another Colossus. 1 Colossus left. Hero doing what he can. Sniping more Vikings. But here he's lacking splash damage. Again, this time investing into all these Colossus does not pay off. He's got 1 left. 1 Colossus remaining. Disruptor has arrived. Just one Disruptor, 1 Nova. Nova hit zones, but just for a moment. And here he's in trouble. He's up against the wall. Again, tried to go mass Colossus for a 2nd time. This time, not worth it. And Clem breaks free. And here he's barely got anything left. Here just running it with whatever he has. Disruptor goes down. A couple of Zelts trickle in. Stalkers are falling. And now finally the Disruptors have made it, but it might just be too little too late for that. As Clem, he's snowballing out of control, he's just eclipsing herO here in supply. Just stims in, he stims, and he wins. Again, here he was doing so well with those Phoenixes, but in the end it didn't matter. In the end, he had gone up to towards 5 Colossus, which is crazy. I mean, again, it did catch Clem off guard in the first time, of course, in the previous game, but not this time. Not this time. Plenty of Vikings. Takes down the mineral line, takes down 18 probes. And he's going for the kill, going for the robo. And Clem, he will not be stopped. Not this time. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Clem. He will claim the series, will advance on to face off against Serral in the next round. GG, well played, congratulations. Shout out to herO for making series out of this. Very unique games. Every game here had a unique build that he was embracing. But as we just saw, I do think that relying on the Mass Colossus style 2 games in a row, when you're up against a player like Clem, you're asking for a little bit too much if you're hoping that they make the same mistake twice. This time, Clem, he was hyper fixated on massing up Vikings. He had plenty of Vikings as a result, and with that, he was able to overwhelm those Colossus real quick. Despite having up to 5 Colossus, they went down one after the other, and because of the commitment into Colossus, that means delayed disruptors. Disruptor production was heavily delayed for herO. By the time they arrived, the damage had been done. The damage had been done. Again, this also emphasizes a reason why typically in this matchup, Protoss, they do need to diversify their splash damage. You cannot just rely on only one, whether it's only Disruptor, only Colossus, only Storm. You do want a little bit of everything here, just because it does force your opponent to respond with that, to adapt their own composition. If they overcommit one way, then you can abuse them in another. And GG, well played. Whew. With that, 3-1s all around, actually, all around. Let's go. If you missed out, we can catch up on the bracket. Oh boy. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. This is the scoreline of tonight's games. That is true, but hold on. I'll get you the bracket itself. Un momento. Here we go. Oh, we got some bangers, mate. Let's go. We do have some bangers here. As we set things up. Bam, there we go. Okay, welcome to LiuLi Cup. LiuLi Cup, the Grand Finals 2024, the playoffs here. Ooh, day 1 was the first round, as you can see. If you missed out on the VODs, I do recommend checking out the VODs over, or if you missed out on watching the live cast, I recommend the VODs over on YouTube and over on Twitch. As we try to, there we go, get a better eye on things. We had the first round wrapping up, of course. We had MaxPax over Dark, we had Serral over Raynor, herO over Gumiho, Clem over Skillus. That led us here into tonight's matches, where Serral took down MaxPax, Clem took down herO, and we have the upper matches. We have the upper bracket finals ready, and that's going to be played when? In 2 days. In 2 days' time is going to be Serral versus Clem. That's going to be a banger. They face off once again. The best, the highest quality ZVT. Best of luck. Best of luck to Serral. Best of luck to Clem. Scrolling down, we also covered here the lower portion of the brackets. Skills took down Gumiho, and Raynor took down Dark. Now, if you didn't see the matches earlier, I recommend it. The reason why they're grayed out here is because Dark played Protoss, Raynor played Protoss, and then they switched back and forth. It was a messy series, and you can actually see it here. PvP game 1, PvP game 2, ZVP one way, and then PvZ the other. So Dark and Raynor, they were definitely having fun, enjoying playing Protoss, as they do, and Raynor came out on top, did prove to be the superior Protoss player. So Raynor came out on top at the end, and that leads us into our top 4. We have Serral and Clem, I should say top 6. We have Serral and Clem here in the upper brackets, and we have herO versus Raynor alongside MaxPax versus Skillus. Here we go. Now this is going to be tomorrow's matches. You can see here, tomorrow's matches are upon us. It is going to be these two here, herO, Raynor, MaxPax, and Skillous. Coming into this, herO is going to be favored. herO, he is favored over Raynor. Likewise, MaxPax is going to be favored over Skillous. So best of luck to Raynor, best of luck to Skillous. They have a day. They have a day to prepare. They have a day to get things ready. We actually have seen Skillous popping off in PvP. We actually have seen him taking maps off of MaxPax. So I want to believe that Skillous is going to come in prepared, and I want to believe that we're going to have a back and forth. Same with herO and Raynor. This is going to be a rematch. herO and Raynor, they faced off in Master Coliseum. herO did take the series in the end, but it was a close one. It went to the ace match. herO and Raynor a couple of days ago, best of 5 went all the way to the ace match. I'm hoping for another back and forth as well. I am hoping for it. So best of luck. Best of luck to our competitors. And again, we're going to be back tomorrow with these lower bracket matches. Tomorrow is going to be herO, Raynor, MaxPax, and Skillous. Look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Oh. As it's going to be a week full of StarCraft. When it comes to the week, check out our schedule. Here we go. We have our schedule here ready for us. Again, we have StarCraft every single day, multiple times a day, as always, as to be expected. Again, we did take a day off. I was very much so I was under the weather. I was under the weather on Monday after the weekend. We casted over 24 hours of StarCraft over the weekend, and my throat was very sore coming into Monday. So because of that, we did not cast the WardyTV Monday this week. I do apologize. We missed out on WardyTV Monday. So we did have Monday off to recover, but every other day, the StarCraft continues. We just wrapped up on Thursday. This was our third cast, by the way. We, this morning, had Tenacious World Tussle into the Pond cast, into LiuLi Cup. Tomorrow, or technically later today, as it is 4 a.m. in the morning. Jesus, it's 4 a.m. in 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with the CranKy Christmas Invitational. That is as you can imagine, a Christmas Invitational organized by CranKy. CranKy, he's a Spanish caster, and we have some amazing Korean on Korean action there, featuring players like Byun, featuring Shin, and many others. So look forward to that. Again, that's going to be in 7 hours time. And in less than 24 hours, we have more LiuLi Cup. You can see it there. 5 days in a row, LiuLi Cup at 9 p.m. KST. Every day, 9 p.m. KST. We just wrapped up day 2. We still have day 3, day 4, and day 5. 5 days straight of LiuLi Cup. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're a part of it to crown our LiuLi Cup champion. Again, it's going to be on Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday, so at least be there for that, but be there for the other days as well. Be sure for that. Be there for that. Likewise, we also have the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, is on Saturday, in the middle of the day, 12 p.m. KST, and we also have herO Cup. herO Cup is going to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 3 days straight of herO Cup action. Oh boy, a lot of StarCraft to come. Be there for it. We will. Will you? See you then. If you want to help support us, you can do so a couple different ways. You can follow us on all the social medias. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. We do post whenever we go live, so follow us on your social media of choice, and you will get notified when we do go live. We also have a Mastodon and a Blue Sky as well, depending on what you prefer. Likewise, if you see something that you like, and if you cannot watch it live, I don't blame you. I mean, we cast multiple times a day, every day, so it's impossible to watch everything. So if you want to tune in, check out the VODs, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch. VODs are available, so do check them out, as they're going to be available to you there. Otherwise, you can help support us monetarily, whether it's by subscribing. You can subscribe on Twitch, you can subscribe on YouTube. You do gain benefits for subscribing. You gain replay packs from tournaments that we have permission to share, like LiuLi Cup and many others. We do share those replays, so you yourself can learn how to play like, or at least watch yourself and try to learn how to play like Clem, like herO, like Serral, like Raynor is available to you through those replays. Likewise, you can support us on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon, bam, as our events are funded via Patreon. Sea Duckling Open, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Master Swan Open as well, all funded via Patreon. You can see our goal just under the graphic. You can see there, we did get a new patron, by the way. Shout out to all our patrons. Shout out to all of our patrons. You can see the list of patrons whenever we're on break, or whenever we end the stream or start the stream. You can see the scrolling list of patrons. So thank you so much for all the support that we have been getting, and we did get a new one today, so thank you so much. Again, we do have our goal here. 400 USD a month is our current goal, and that is to boost the prize pool even further for our tournaments. Currently, our tournaments are very top heavy. Currently, the tournaments that we run, they pay out only top 2. Only top 2 players get any money in our tournaments. If we can boost the prize pool even further, then we can pay out top 4. That is the current stretch goal, at least. And again, all 100% of the money of Patreon, it all goes towards these tournaments, all goes towards the players. So if you want to help support the scene, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, you can subscribe on Twitch. I mean, all that money as well does funnel back into these events. It pays for graphics, it pays for the logo. Shout out to of course Shura for making the mascots for all of our tournaments: the duckling, the tuna, the swan, the turtle, the platypus, the emotes as well in the chat, all of course commissioned, and thanks to subscription money, that's how we're able to pay for that, at least. Thank you. And with that, we're wrapping up. With that, we are done for the night. The Patreons, oh my god, Pappy, yes, oh, the emotes, they're beautiful, the degen. With that, we're going to be heading off. I do have some VODs to edit, so going to be working on that, then getting some sleep and getting ready for a day of StarCraft. Oh boy, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Let's have a look. Who is live? Wardy is casting OSC Championship. Senor Sadsack is live at the moment. Kalussi is live as well. Showtime is live. Showtime. I haven't seen him play in a while. Okay. We have Smile as well. Gabe is like. There's a lot of people streaming today. Yo, yesterday when we tried to raid, there was like Upper Tree and that's it. And Upper Tree, he was just asleep. He was because he's doing the subathon. But there's a lot of people live at the moment, so check him out. Check him out. Whether it's Gabe, whether it's Showtime, whether it's Mr. Sadsack, Middle VK is live as well. Smile. Typically we try to raid a smaller streamer. And Showtime doesn't have many viewers, but he just went live. So we'll find someone to send everyone over to. Tempted to raid Smile. Smile, he was joining us earlier. We'll find someone. So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. You can also follow myself at light_VIP. You can click on my name as a part of the Twitch title to get a link to my channel. I do ladder sessions, I do ladder streams, and I play other games. But as you can imagine, specifically for January, look at our schedule. I have no time to stream. Our schedule has been pretty busy. We've been having a pretty busy schedule, so I haven't had the luxury of streaming on my own personal channel. But whenever we have some free time, whenever we have some free days, I'm usually live there. So you can follow me there if you wish. But again, it's more of a rare stream. It's only if we're not casting. If I'm not casting, then I'm live on my personal channel. The problem is that we're always casting. So, so I don't get to ladder. I barely ladder this season. I miss it. I miss laddering. Maybe February. I might have some time. So I have some cheeky ladder sessions. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Stick around. We're going to give you another StarCraft streamer raid. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you whenever we see you next. Plenty of chances to catch us here on the CranKy Ducklings. See you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.